Hello, and welcome to One World Sports Radio's coverage of South Africa's journey throughout the T20 World Cup. It's an interesting one today because it might slightly be bittersweet as the permutations have come in, and South Africa might have a little bit of a longish road and a tough one to climb to go into the next round. And it may not be Mount Everest, but it's a big enough mountain indeed. Welcome to this coverage. My name is Mpumukrani. I've got Ken Borland here with me. Ken, the permutations are in. The West Indies couldn't do us a favor. How are you feeling about South Africa going into this game?
Look, it was always obviously going to be a very tough game for the Proteas against high-flying England. I think everyone's favourites for the title. But, yeah, there were glimmers of hope. South Africa played really well the last three games. And there is still a glimmer of hope, although Australia beating the West Indies by 8 wickets with 22 balls to spare has made it a lot harder for South Africa to win this game and also to advance to the semi-finals. The rough sort of permutation, the latest I've heard is that South Africa, because we are going to be defending a score, England have won the toss, a crucial toss, to win in Sharjah with the dew factor. So England will be batting second and chasing. South Africa will have to beat them by around 57 runs to advance to the semi-finals on a better net run rate than Australia.
Yeah, and that's the tough part about it. It's one of those situations where I think we're going to be looking for more moral victories than anything else. From a team's perspective, South Africa are unchanged, going with the same formula. But England have one change. Mark Wood comes in for Tummel Mills. It's more like for like in terms of a pace situation, but they lose out on that death specialist in Tummel Mills.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Wood has done really well against South Africa in test matches before, outright pace, but definitely you would say not as skillful a bowler as Tummel Mills, and very much a death specialist for England. So that's going to change their dynamic a bit in terms of how they set up their bowling.
Yes, and just to remind you, we are live on YouTube. We're also live on Facebook, also live as well on Twitter. So please do interact with us at GUERILLASN. Let us know what you're thinking about this game. The teams are ready. South Africa's ready to go out. We've got some of the English players in the huddle there. Ken, as Temba says, he wants an extra 5% from the players. I'm not sure if 5% will be enough, but I'd love to see this team performing at an extra 5%.
Absolutely. Qualify for the semis or not, win or lose, I think as long as they go out on a high, as long as they go out on a really good performance, then we can be really happy with their campaign. I think expectations were very low going into this World Cup. And to still be in contention for the semi-finals going into your last game, it's a good effort. And let's not forget, there's another T20 World Cup next year. So to end this one on a high, yeah, unbelievably, would lay a really good platform for the next T20 World Cup in less than 12 months' time.
And from a toss perspective, England did win the toss and put South Africa into bat. Ken, I have sight of Moeen Ali. If you do have sight of him, I'm just going to hand over the ball-by-ball requirements to you.
Yes, indeed. It is Moeen Ali, the off-spinner, who is going to be opening the bowling for England in this T20 World Cup game in Sharjah. Probably says a lot to do with the presence of Quinton de Kock, the left-handed opening batter for South Africa.
What I'd do to have him.
Yeah, love Quinny to fire today. And Rita Hendricks is opening the batting with Quinton de Kock. It looks like Aiden Markram might come in 3, judging by the fact that he's padded up. I can't see who else is padded up. There may be someone else further down the line, but all the players now taking the knee to honour Black Lives Matter in appropriate fashion.
Another controversial issue to plague this team throughout the tournament, which shouldn't have been that way, but somehow it did. But now we're through. We just need to figure out how to navigate today in one of the smallest grounds in world cricket.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a World Cup if South Africa didn't try and shoot themselves in the foot somehow. Fortunately, they seem to have missed this time because the team have really pulled together well. And as you say, Sharjah, it's a very low bouncing pitch, but the boundaries are small. As Moeen Ali comes in, first delivery outside off stump, and Reza Hendricks pushes it firmly into the covers. No run.
We've got some comments on YouTube. Arvin says the balance of the team is affected by picking Reza again. Reza's no Faf or Yanaman. It is a worse selection. Clausen should have come in place of Reza. Anyways, SA will not beat England. It's a very negative comment, but thank you very much for it. Nonetheless, that's the other side. I'm with you on the Clausen coming in, but outside of that, good.
Yeah, Reza Hendricks gets off the mark. Second ball as he goes onto the back foot outside off stump and pushes Moeen Ali down to long on for a single. Yeah, look, it's been a winning combination. So there's a lot to be said for not changing a winning combination. And
we're batting first, so I think it makes sense to do that. If you're batting first, Reza shouldn't necessarily be in the side because it looks much better that way.
Yeah, I mean, who do you think is more likely to score you big runs? Reza Hendricks or Heinrich Clausen?
And at this point
it's certainly not a selection that bothers me. I can see merit either way. Quinton de Kock facing up to his first ball from Moeen Ali around the wicket, angling in. He strikes de Kock on the pad, but it's going well down the leg side, and only a stifled appeal by wicketkeeper Butler. No run.
It's an interesting matchup here with Moeen Ali.
It is, as Quinton de Kock gives himself room and launches Moeen Ali beautifully over extra cover for a one bounce for wonderful shot by Quinton de Kock.
Oh, Quinny, that's what we want to see. Very high boundary percentage hitter in this team. He just needs to take full advantage of this, and it's lovely to see him just, putting some of the demons that he has, that people think he has, against some off spin. Oh, left arm spin, actually. Or it's actually off spin.
Off spin at the moment as Moeen Ali is in again, angling into leg side. De Kock gives himself room again, but this time actually works it on the onside for another single. South Africa 6 without loss with one ball left in the first over.
And Werner Erasmus on YouTube saying 61 runs is the latest he heard. He would be switching up the batting lineup to bring in big hitters earlier. Markram no lower than 3, Miller no lower than 4. No timid, tentative approach.
Moeen Ali into Reza Hendricks, bit short. Hendricks cuts. It's a little bit upish and goes on the bounce to a deepish point. No run, and that's the end of the first over. And South Africa are 6 without loss.
It's got a tweet in. Hattie writes saying she's loving me wearing my South Africa shirt today. Look, I live and die with South African teams. I think I live and die more with Proteas and Bafana Bafana than I do with the rugby side. But outside of that, somebody needs to support them, and I'm one of them.
Me too, Import. Me too. And,
and the only problem is this week Bafana Bafana comes into the fore because they have their biggest week in the last, I think, last year and a half, because they have to win 2 games to move forward into the next round of the World Cup qualifiers. And so I'm just going to be going through a whole lot of heart palpitations.
At least they're still in contention, Import. It's been I'm no Bafana expert, but it seems to me that it's been a vastly improved campaign by them this time around.
Very simple changes made. They're playing much better football with guys who aren't actually well known, which is the frustrating part for some diehard club fans.
The highly impressive Chris Wokes is bowling from the other end into Quinton de Kock, angling towards the offside. A nice confident forward defensive stroke by de Kock and no run. Chris Wokes is just one of those cricketers who I really enjoy. I think he's underrated. Always doing something with the ball, but it'll be interesting to see what he can get out of this pitch.
He's a frontline seamer for any other team in the world. That's
Absolutely.
how good he is. Across all the formats, and it's just, England have just gone through a period of really, really good, producing some really good cricketers.
Wokes in again to the Cock again. Good length outside off stump. The Cock forward pushes. They're scampering through for a quick single to Mo and Ali, and it's well judged. Good safe running there by de Kock and Hendricks. The field for de Kock just reflecting how strong he is square of the wicket. The two men on the boundary at a deep point and a deep backward square leg. We'll just see if anything changes for Reza Hendricks.
Ray PMB on YouTube says Temba Bavuma averages 9 against 145 plus deliveries. That's why Mark Wood has been brought in to this English side.
As works into Hendricks, off the back foot, pushed into the covers, and again, very good running between the wickets by the South Africans as they dash through for a single and well placed by Reza Hendricks. I think would have played anyway, probably. With all due respect, I don't think it's necessarily a Bavuma thing.
I think it's every batsman in this tournament thing with because look, 145 plus deliveries on these pitches have always been a struggle. That's why Nokia and Rabat have been so good, as well as the Australian paces as well. So
yeah. No, I mean to single out Temba is the reason's a bit specious, if you ask me. As de Kock tries to whip Works through the onside, but finds the mid on instead. No run.
Yeah.
It's I think people can get a bit carried away with these matchups. Watching the Australia West Indies game earlier,
Mitchell Marsh
raving about the leg spinner against Mitchell Marsh, but David Warner's at the other end. So Works into de Kock, firmly driven down to the really deep mid off, and they run through for a single. De Kock and Hendricks nearly colliding there. But no risk at all in that single. 9 without loss.
Do you think that, because I look at the South African team and I kind of feel like our bowlers have always had this level of continuity, because when I look at this West Indian side, it's very disjointed in terms of their bowling attack, because essentially all 5 of their bowlers wouldn't necessarily make most of the teams in the world right now. And that's what let them down. But like South Africa's always got this pipeline of just very, very good bowlers. And if you look even at Australia and all these other teams, it's an insight into the West Indian domestic game and what's going on. Because I think over the past couple of years they've just not been able to produce quality.
Chris Wokes sends a very, very tidy over with a dot ball as Reza Hendricks just pushes that into the covers. Wokes is showing good line and length there, also working. Yeah, on your point, it certainly does seem that the West Indies have question marks over their bowling, as Mo and Ali is to bowl a second over now into Quinton de Kock. De Kock again gives himself room and has launched the straight back over the bowler's head. Lovely shot by de Kock for 4 runs.
Really good. Getting to the pitch of the ball, negating that spin. There are stats coming through from Ray PMB talking about QDK's average against spin is 12, his strike rate is 83. But that ball showed that maybe those stats, he doesn't care about those stats a lot.
As Mo and Ali in again, strays down the leg side. The Kock can't make contact, and it bounces off the wicketkeeper's pads. They're going to run through for a single, and it's a wide. So Mo and Ali just struggling a bit with his line, given how Quinton de Kock is giving himself room very effectively. Reza Hendricks on strike now, and Mo and Ali switches back to over the wicket, back of a length. Hendricks slaps it hard, but can't pierce the cover field.
On Twitter, Woy Pom Pom says, "Good afternoon, you're doomed."
Him again.
As always, our general doomed tweet.
Mo and Ali in again to Hendricks again, back of a length again. Hendricks slaps off the back foot, but this time it's straight to a short cover. No run.
Oh, whoa.
Mo and Ali in again to Hendricks straight. Oh, Hendricks is bowled He's gone for the slog sweep to a straight delivery. I fancy it was a bit too full for the sweep shot, and castled by Moeen Ali. Reza Hendrik gone for 2 off 8 balls.
Yeah, it was the pressure. The pressure got him 2 dot balls in a row. He kind of felt like he needed to break the seal a little bit, even though they'd already gotten that boundary at the beginning of the over. And yeah, Reza, I don't know if this will be the last of him batting in this World Cup. Goes out for 2 off 8. A very good ball from Moeen, straight on. It was one of those where if you miss, I hit. A lot of Reza Hendricks commentary here on YouTube. I'm not gonna Arvin saying something about Reza that I would not say, but Ray says Reza dotting up against his favorite matchup, and then he gets out to it. And then Arvin said SA must be mad to pick him again and again, playing for openers. To a certain extent, that's the best 6 batsmen that you have at the tournament, regardless of where they bat. And this is the guys we have at the World Cup, so we kind of have to move on from there. Number 3 in Ken, Rassie van der Dussen. In a 3, a lot of South African fans are probably putting their hair out right now, wanting Aiden Markham to come in, but Aiden's been kept back because Rassie, after that game against Pakistan, showed us what he's capable of at number 3.
Yeah, I think Rassie van der Dussen, you want to give him as many balls as you can. So he's more likely to get that coming in at 3. Amidst all the criticism of Reza Hendricks, I'd just like to give a little bit of credit to the bowler, Moeen Ali. Clever change there. He was bowling back of a length outside off stump and then went fuller and straighter to get the wicket as Rassie van der Dussen is off the mark. First ball, clips Moeen Ali through mid-wicket for a single.
Yeah, just drag that length back a little bit there, Ken. And that's the reason why the ball got underneath Reza's bat. Very good bowling from Moeen. Nice little setup from him. Giving a little bit of flight, opening up Reza's eyes there.
As Moeen Ali into Quinton de Kock, now slower, and de Kock, no pace to work with, is trying to manufacture a single on the offside, but Rassie van der Dussen turns it down. And that's the end of the 3rd over. South Africa 16 for 1, de Kock on 11 off 9, and Rassie van der Dussen has faced 1 ball for a single. Yeah, just going back to the West Indies team, we were talking about their strength has always been in their batting, but their problem in this tournament is that their batting hasn't really fired either, which hasn't really left their weaker suit.
That 157 today was good enough, I thought.
It put them in the game, but it wasn't enough, as you said, for their bowlers. Look, David Warner batted really, really well, I thought.
Batting David Warner back into form.
Yeah. Chris Wokes in the game now to Rassie van der Dussen, steps out off stump and paddles him over the short fine leg. What a phenomenal stroke by Rassie van der Dussen as it runs away for a boundary.
It's a very good shot there from Rassie, just using the pace of the bowler, ramping it really nicely down the leg side. These shots are no longer risky. A couple of years ago, you would have considered these shots to be risky, but Rassie didn't get the full face of the bat. He got the side of the bat to go down there, but a really good, well thought of, premeditated shot from him, and it paid off nonetheless.
I think if you don't execute it, there's risk of playing it onto your stumps or into your own head, as Wokes back into Van der Dussen, outside of stump. Van der Dussen is trying to angle it away to third man, misses, and through to the wicketkeeper, no run.
Yeah, it was a welcome boundary for the South Africans, just to ease the pressure a little bit.
And just looking at Chris Wokes' first over, and just how he really just stuck to a good line and length, maybe a little back of a length at time, but certainly nothing full enough to drive. And what a good over that was. Rassie van der Dussen, though, doing really well to innovate off the first ball of this over. Here comes the 3rd ball now. Wokes to Van der Dussen, foolish angling in on off stump. Van der Dussen drives it, but he can't beat mid off. No run.
the one good thing about this is that the strongest part of the South African team will be the ones trying to keep them in the tournament, which is gives me a little bit of comfort because I think our bowlers are just that good. And if there ever was a time for them to prove me right, it would be today.
The only problem is going to be the dew factor, as Wokes in again, back of the length, angling into the stumps, forces a defensive stroke from Van der Dussen back down the pitch, no run.
Ken, that is why you send them out with every single towel available in the dressing room. You're cutting towels.
No, knowing the ICC, they've probably actually got a rule about how many towels you're allowed out on the field or something, and what dimensions and what material, how fluffy they are, that sort of thing. As Wokes, and again, Van der Dussen straighter, Van der Dussen again driving down the ground, but again finds the man this time at mid-on, no run.
Because obviously we're doing the 4-day match that's also happening concurrently as well, the Titans and the Dolphins. And one of the questions was the ball wasn't swinging much, and one of the questions we were trying to figure out was what liquid could the players use, because you're not allowed to use any bodily fluids to shine the ball, because if there's no assistance on the pitch, you're gonna have to try to do something.
As Van der Dussen clips this full delivery from Wokes to mid-wicket, they're scampering due for a run. The throw comes in and de Kock is safely home, and it means that Rassie Van der Dussen will keep the strike, having hit a boundary off the first ball, 4 dots, and then a single off the last. South Africa 21 for 1 after 4 overs. Yeah, are they still enforcing that no bodily fluids rule? I wonder.
Well, no, they are, and it's made our 4-day domestic situation a little bit more complicated, because I'd rather them play with a juke ball, because it might get them a little bit of assistance off the seam, but these kookaburras are just not doing much.
It depends. I mean, the Wanderers last week was pretty bowler friendly. Bowlers did well, certainly in Gqeberha. This weekend, the bowlers are really dominating.
Again, if you have that quartet of Magala, Sepamla, Olivier, and who's the last one? Siboto. Yeah. They don't need much.
Moeen Ali will bowl the third over into Rassie. Oh, it's a leg spinner from Moeen Ali. Didn't quite get the length right though, and Rassie Van der Dussen clips it away to long on for a single. The potential run out, the last ball of the previous over, might have been a little bit closer than I thought if there had been a directed. Quinny de Kock was struggling a bit there. He's on strike now to Moeen Ali. Quinton hasn't had the strike for a little bit. This back of a leg from Moeen Ali. De Kock pulls it powerfully, but the man is at cow corner. He just has to run a little bit to his left to do the fielding, and just a single. So they've got 23 for 1 now.
It's these pitches in Sharjah have been very hard for batsmen trying to look for boundaries. It's like it's seeping the energy off the ball as it lands.
That's right, very low and slow as Moeen Ali does full outside off stump. Van der Dussen works it on the onside, but again straight to mid on, no run. Moeen Ali's halfway through his third over. Has taken 1 for 15, so doing a very good job for England here in the power play as he comes in again. Rassie steps outside leg stump and punches this towards extra cover, and they will get you for another single from the Dussen on 8 off 10, and South Africa 24 for 1.
Let's look at some of the comments we're having. Otto is advertising for us on Twitter. Watch along and listen live on YouTube. Also live on Facebook. Also do tweet into us at Gorilla SA. Got some comments here. Power play is the easiest time to score, and South Africa is letting Moeen bowl his overs. That's from Ray PMB.
Moeen Ali in again around the wicket now to de Kock onto the pads, and de Kock works this through the infield. Cow corner runs in to do the fielding, and again a single. Yeah, I mean, credit to England. They've giving South Africa very little pace to work with. Mo Nally specifically, as Van der Dussen does clip this one squarer this time through the leg side, and again it'll be a single. And I guess with the low bounce, even a guy like Wokes, it's difficult to play cross bat shots because the bounce is so low, and because he's bowling a good line and a good length, it's easy for him to set a straight field.
Yes, there's a. I think yesterday they were showing a graphic in that New Zealand-Scotland game where there's an 8-meter mark, which is roundabout back of a length, where if you hit there, the strike rate is about 77, and essentially that would give you the flat batted shot, or force batsman to play square. But if you're full and you try go between 8 meters, so for Yorker length, back to back of a length, the strike rate's 230. But if you go shorter than back of a length, the strike rate's 156.
Yeah, as Wokes in again now to Rassie van der Dussen down the pitch, heaving to the leg side, and he's beaten the man running around from fine leg. Mo Nally, a diving effort, but good contact made by Rassie van der Dussen with that swing away to the leg side, and he gets his second boundary.
And yeah, that was
a straight batted pull almost, wasn't it, Impal?
You wanted to hit that hard.
Yeah.
But that's the tendency you get playing on a pitch like this where the ball's not coming on. You kind of feel like you need to hit it with power because even the pace from the bowler is not going to help.
And he did well there because it was a straight bat for much of the shot, It wasn't a horizontal bat pull as such. So well played by Van der Dussen, and hopefully he can continue that momentum in this milestone of the power play.
But essentially at Sharjah, it's that. It's you're going to have to try hit it down the ground, play long batted shots. I think playing a cross batted shot, as Reza saw in the first innings, it's a little bit tougher. And then obviously England are packing that the offside because of the fact that it's a little bit harder. But Rassie really should be able to do that because that's his art, playing in that V.
Wokes in again to Van der Dussen down the pitch again, and he's launched this. It's a high steepler over mid-wicket by Rassie van der Dussen. Yes, he's got enough on it. Another wonderful shot that goes all the way for 6 for Van der Dussen.
That was full. Actually, was a full toss, and Rassie got that really in the cleaners. It was a lowish full toss. He made it into a lowish full toss, and by coming forward. And Chris Wokes has now gone for 406 in this over. Could this be where the South African train starts to leave the station?
It was a double skip by Van der Dussen, in fact. So Wokes in again, and again Van der Dussen advances, but this time he just turns it away towards the mid-wicket area for a single. A bit of a slower ball there from Chris Wokes. 37 for 1 now, South Africa, midway through the 6th over.
So got some comments from YouTube. Ray asks, who is the best player of spin in SA? Everyone knows Moeen will bowl in the power play, so who could have paired him with Quinny? Reza's a good player of spin. He showed that in that T20 challenge, opening for the Lions, even though he got some runs, but he didn't get a lot of them. I know I think Timber's the best player of spin in this team, but you've got Aiden, you've got Rassie, you've got Reza. They're all pretty similar against spin.
Klaasen is very good at spin.
He's fantastic at spin.
Not in the 11, of course. So, yeah. As Wokes in again, back of a length to the Cock, pushes forward. They're going to run a quick single into the covers and very safely fulfilled that. Cock goes to 14 or 12 now, 38 for 1.
And then Ray says Reza doesn't have the best strike rate against spin, 122. I think that's pretty good. Obviously, in the T20 world, you're going to want guys who are going at 150, but for an open, 122 is not bad.
For South Africans, yeah. That'll be one of the better ones.
And then Ray replies to that Rassie 6 with Rassie, all caps and 4 fire emojis.
Works in again to Van der Dussen, who advances again. This is on the leg side, and Van der Dussen was very full, just gets back onto it. There is a fine leg, and so it'll just be a single.
Gareth Lynch on Twitter says, great test match batting here from South Africa. They do know the situation, right? With a question mark. Look, I think there was a great conversation in the previous game. Ian Bishop was talking to Shane Watson about, sometimes when you lose wickets, do you want to, because some guys will want to continue to attack while others might be told to consolidate. And play the situation.
A lot depends on conditions as well, I think. How much the conditions allow you. And this is a pretty low and slow pitch as Wokes is in again, shortish, and de Kock turns us away off the hip. They initially were happy with just one, then de Kock accelerated, thinking there might be two, but it was too late. So just a single to end the 6th over and the power play. South Africa 40 for 1.
14 coming off of that over. Interesting to see that last ball from Chris Wokes. It was short as you described it, but it only got to Quinton's hip. On other pitches, that ball can be pulled, and it comes at least midriff height, a little and higher than that. So it just gives an indication of how slow and low this wicket is, and how hard for batting it can be. And that's where England have put most of their fielders. They've protected the square boundaries well, and made sure that the bowlers bowl into that.
And Moeen Ali is going to complete his 4-over quota. He's taken 1 for 18 so far, so he's bowled really well. And he's not the sort of bowler who's going to be required at the death, so I guess it makes sense for England to do this. He's going well. And he's going to be bowling to Quinton de Kock, who's on 15 or 13 balls. Moeen Ali around the wicket. De Kock gives himself room outside leg stump again, but then just a fairly defensive push, but well placed. Too long off for a single.
So at the end of that power play, South Africa were 40 for 1. I think it's one of the better power plays we've had in this tournament. So relatively, it's a good enough start for the Proteas to give themselves a push.
I think it's satisfactory. Yes, as Moeen Ali into Rassie van der Dussen, shortish again, and van der Dussen punches this off the back foot, wide of mid-on, and there'll be another single.
And Sport RHE at Sport RHE Reball Sport. Bonfils replying to Gareth Lynch's tweet saying it's coming with a laughing emoji.
Moeen Ali into de Kock. Oh, it's coming indeed. It's a reverse sweep by Quinton de Kock over the top, over the infield, and it runs away for 4 runs. Super shot by Quinton de Kock.
And needs to look away. Quinton de Kock's pulled out a reverse sweep and he actually connected to it. Very, very good shot there from him. Understanding that the fielder behind square on the leg side is in the ring.
As Moeen Ali in again to de Kock, angled into the pads, and he pushes this away on the leg side for a single. He goes to 21 now of 16 balls.
Just a reminder to everyone, we have our rugby commentators on standby for the 7:30 kickoff of the Springboks against the Proteas. So spread the word. Well, not the Proteas, because that would be fun, playing rugby, but against Scotland, the Thistles of Scotland. Oh, it's Wales. So yeah, it's not Wales. Oh, sorry. Who's playing Scotland today?
Australia tomorrow.
Australia
tomorrow. As Rassie van der Dussen clips this one from Moeen Ali down to deep backward square leg for a single.
I think that'd be a week early for the Scotland game, but it's Wales today at the Principality. Good over so far.
One more run just to end the over as Quinton de Kock pushes this down to long off. So 7 overs gone, 49 for 1. The run rate is 7. So a solid start by South Africa. Just to follow up your point and pour on the power play, South Africa's best power play in this whole tournament has been 42 for 1. So 40 for 1
Was that against
yeah,
Bangladesh?
I'm not sure who it was against, to be honest. Yeah,
Mm.
but certainly one of their better ones today.
Very much so. 9 runs coming off that last over. One of the keys is always to get a boundary early in the over and then collect a lot of singles. Here's the key one I think everyone's wanting to look for. Adil Rashid, number 3 T20 bowler in the world, against the South African batting lineup. He is an off-spin bowler, so a leg spin bowler, so he might actually, Quinton might enjoy him bowling to him.
Rashid in. Oh, yeah, Quinny will enjoy that. It's a low full toss. He drives it away, finds the man at long on, a bit angry with himself to cock that he didn't make more of that rather friendly first delivery from
Well, if
Adil
I hit
Rashid.
that a little bit harder, there was that fielder at long on. So he'd have to try and muscle it over that the fielder there to get it
He
in.
was only with the placing as well. That he could have hit it on the ground, but for 4. Instead, he rather picked out the fielder. But Rashid will now be bowling to the right-hander, Rassie van der Dussen, as South Africa's 50 has come up off 7 overs and 1 ball. Rashid in flight and outside off time. Van der Dussen reverse sweeps over point, super shot, and that's going to run away for 4 runs as well. And Rashid looks a bit bemused by this early onslaught.
Well, Rassie's been watching a lot of Mitchell Marsh lately, or on his way to the ground, because that's the shot Mitchell Marsh played to Hayden Walsh Jr. when he came on to try and break the shackles and kill all the curses against leg spin with right-handers. So it's a really good shot and a really lovely get-out-of-jail shot there.
Rashid in again, outside off some. Van der Dussen sweeps and misses. Butler's up for an appeal. I can only presume it's caught behind. And England have reviewed it. So did Rassie van der Dussen get a little scratch on the sweep?
Because it's not LBW, because the Rassie's way outside of stump.
Yeah.
We hope it's not one of those, it hits the bat, hits the boot, and still manages to bounce up into the keeper's hands.
I almost thought like he yorked himself in a way. Let's have a look at the replay. Rashid, it's full outside off stump. I think Van der Dussen hit the ground personally, but it was close to the bat. Butler went up straight away.
We've got some comments on YouTube. Ray PMB says, like Rassie against spin, he can sweep and reverse sweep as well. Ray reiterating Rassie's last reverse sweep for 4. He just says reverse sweep, and then he says that last ball from Rashid was a front of the hand slider. That the one that's being reviewed right now. So really good eyes there, Ray PMB. And
the review has shown no contact with the bat whatsoever. In fact, no real sound at all. So not sure what Butler was hearing there. Anyway, no damage done for South Africa. 54.
You can see that England are desperate to break this partnership. They realize that these two can take this game away. It's a really, really desperate review.
Well, they're setting themselves up well as Rashid flights this one outside off stump. Van der Dussen steps across and drives this wide of long on, and they'll go through for a very easy single. Just Rassie van der Dussen, as the last tweet mentioned, very good at both conventional and reverse sweeps. And he's also using his feet really well in this innings, coming down the wicket, going back into his crease, stepping outside leg stump or off stump. As Rashid stays over the wicket to the left-handed Quinton de Kock, pitching on leg, turning further away, and de Kock pushes this through mid-wicket for a single. 56 for 1 now.
Well, since we've gotten that early boundary, we're obviously now on 7 runs and over. Just look for singles all around, and that odd dot ball shouldn't phase you or add pressure to you. And then T20 becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, wickets in hand are still important as Rashid goes straight to this time, and Van der Dussen's trying to play that very square on the leg side, which gets the bowler a bit interested in LBW, but he gets enough bat on it to find short fine leg. No run, the end of the 8th over, South Africa 56 for 1.
The great thing Rassie's doing with Adil Rashid is that his at the end of his setup, when he faces up to Rashid, he ends up on off stump, so he covers off stump. So anything that comes into him, he plays behind, and it kind of negates that LBW appeal for the wrong and coming in. And then on top of that, it enables him to be able to do that reverse sweep and fetch balls that are turning away from him. So it's just a little bit of an adjustment that he's made to the leg spinner. A lot of people would rather be more middle with the ball turning into them and trying to play it leg sideish, whereas Rusty's more already wanting to play that wrong and already leg sideish. And that's a little good little adjustment that I like from him.
Yeah, I think Adil Rashid is also, apart from that last delivery, got his line a little bit wrong. Following on exactly what you said, and Paul, Rashid has kind of fed Rassi by being a bit wider off stump, I think, and we haven't actually seen
it puts the bowler off actually
from him yet. Yeah, I suppose it does. Yeah, because the bowler obviously has a line that he wants to bowl, and then he's finding out that he has to adjust now. So we've seen a couple of sliders from Adil Rashid, but no Googly yet. Chris Jordan is coming into the attack now to bowl to Quinton de Kock with 3 fielders on the leg side boundary.
And none of them straight.
Yeah, exactly. Wonderfully skillful bowler. He starts with a short pitch delivery, which Quinton de Kock slaps through the covers. I fancy to the middle of those. It's the cover sweeper, in fact. Of course, just a single for de Kock.
Yeah, some good field placings from Owen Morgan, ensuring that the South Africans are always playing square of the wicket, as that's probably the best place to get wickets at Sharjah. Going long doesn't work, so you can't bowl too full, and you also can't bowl too short. You just have to keep it back of a length.
So Owen Morgan is just making adjustments for Rassie van der Dussen. Good that this right-hand, left-hand partnership is flourishing, really, for the South Africans.
Look, it's been a while since Quinny's been in South African colours in the 8th over. So, you just want these two to kind of finish this World Cup with a bang. If we're going out, you might as well go out in a blaze of glory.
It's a much straighter field for Van der Dussen, and the first ball he just pushes away on the offside, no run. So he and Quinton de Kock have added 42 already for the second wicket, giving the Proteas a solid platform.
And it's a good platform to build on. If any T20 side would want to be in this position in the first 8 overs, knowing that you've got wickets at the back end, and these two can become even more aggressive as they go on in this game, which is why England are looking quite desperate right now, especially when you saw that review.
Absolutely. As Van der Dussen squeezes this delivery that angles into him down to long on for another single. So just a reminder of the permutations here for South Africa to sneak ahead of Australia and make the semi-finals. Australia currently have a net run rate of plus 1.22. South Africa on plus 0.74. So they've got to make up plus 0.49 runs, which equates to somewhere between 57 and 61 runs. Jordan around the wicket to de Kock, angling in de Kock, works his way through mid-wicket to cow corner for a single.
Yeah,
what do you feel, Paul, would be the sort of total that South Africa should be targeting
from here
that will allow them to win by, say, 60 runs? What would you feel comfortable with?
It has to be closer to 200, unfortunately. And the way these two teams have played each other since the 2016, because we set 220 in the 2016 World Cup and they chased it down.
Yeah.
And then in South Africa, we gave them 3 games of 200 plus, setting 200 plus scores all the way through. And England came through chasing those down. So I don't know which score is safe against this England side, but for South African perspective, you'd have to go closer to 200 to try and bowl them out under 150 and closer to 145 if they have a nightmare batting against our bowlers. So I'm thinking about that, but 180 will work, and then we just see if we can't do this whole 120 thing, because I think if we can get to 180, these our guys will need to, our bowlers will need to step up a little bit more.
Jordan into Van der Dussen, steps outside off stump, always been struck on the pad as he tried to work that away on the onside. They've gone through for the leg by. Chris Jordan is very interested in this appeal. Owen Morgan is looking around, probably trying to get confirmation from wicketkeeper Butler. And yeah, England are going to review with just 3 seconds remaining on the timer. They've gone for the review. And Van der Dussen definitely
saving
out of his crease and outside off stump. But it hasn't hit him in line with off stump.
So, yeah, Ray says LBW. He says that's plumb out. But what's saving Rassie, I think, is that he's come down the wicket.
Exactly. And there we have it. The review, it has hit him kind of in line with off stump, but he's more than 3 meters down the pitch. So it stays umpire's call. And a lucky escape there for Van der Dussen, one would have to say. Owen Morgan, very disappointed, as are England fans here in Sharjah. So 61 for 1 it stays. 1 ball left in the 9th over. Van der Dussen, 29 of 24 balls, going well. They actually got 2 leg byes from that delivery. Jordan in again to Van der Dussen. Foolish and worked away off his hip by Rassie Van der Dussen. He's got that away fine, and that'll run away for 4 runs.
Much needed boundary in that over. Completes that over of Jordan. Obviously, he's got 7 runs off the bat, but it actually is 9 runs to the South African score. So really good from that perspective.
Yeah, ticking along nicely here, South Africa. That was a pretty straight delivery from Chris Jordan, but because there was a bit of length for him to work with, Van der Dussen did really well to get that very fine. And it seems Jonathan Bairstow has a few words to say with Rassie Van der Dussen. Not sure whether it's some advice or abuse or what that was, but Van der Dussen looks a bit disinterested as Adil Rashid will bowl his second over. 50 partnership up now between de Kock and Van der Dussen, or 38 balls. Rashid into de Kock, short, it holds up in the pitch, and de Kock, you could see, was thinking of a big pull, but in the end he just chips it down to wide long on for a single. A good adaptation there by Quinton de Kock. You've seen Bairstow pointing to something on the pitch. Rashid into Van der Dussen, flighted and straight, and Van der Dussen works this away in front of square leg for us. Now the single, 67 for 1.
Arvin saying that that appeal, he feels that appeal should have been given out in his opinion. We thank for umpire's calls just brings in that obviously the subjectivity of it all.
Rashid into de Kock, well flighted. De Kock's got the reverse sweep again, out of the bag, and beautifully struck past the diving man and short third man, and 4 more runs to de Kock.
It's very good reverse sweep from Quinton. Picked up the line really quickly and managed to understand that, they've got some fielders in the ring, and he managed to pierce them. So really, really good batting from Quinton de Kock. He is the game changer for the South African side, and we've been waiting for a performance like this for a while.
Hopefully he can go on as Rashid. This is short, and de Kock leans back and thumps this with a flat bat down to long off Chris Jordan as the fielder, and it'll just be a single. So 2 balls left in this 10th over. South Africa 72 for 1. Van der Dussen 34 of 26. De Kock 32 of 24. Rashid in now to Rassie van der Dussen. Steps outside, Sun sweeping again. He misses it. He's struck on the body. There's an appeal from England, but he's surely well outside off stump there. And the umpire shakes.
You can see all three stumps. That's the. I would assume that's a rule.
I would imagine it's almost impossible to be given out LBW if you can see all three stumps. So maybe if you shoulder arms and get hit. Yeah. Anyway, she did again to Van der Dussen, full outside off stump, and he pushes us down to long off for a single. 10 overs gone. South Africa 73 for 1. Van der Dussen 35 of 28. De Kock 32 of 24. The only man out, Reza Hendricks, who was bowled by Moeen Ali for 2. So Van der Dussen and De Kock going on really nicely in this partnership.
Yes, they are. As our scorecard's a little bit frozen, so I'm just trying to figure out why that's the case. But yes, so that is. Ken, what would you be telling the Proteas right now, or the two batsmen in the middle right now, 73 for 1, coming out of the dugout as a message?
Yeah, but I think just carry on what they're doing. I mean, they're doing a great job. If South Africa can get to 15 overs with only 1 or 2 wickets down, that really puts them in a very good position for a really big last push. So if they can get, say, what do we get? If we go 40 runs off the next 5 overs, that will then put them on 113, if my maths is correct. And then another 70 off the last 5. You know, with wickets in hand, that's not impossible. That gets you up to 180. So to my mind, that would be the game plan. You obviously don't want to get stuck now in these middle overs. So you want to keep the momentum going. Still look for a boundary and over, which they're doing very well at the moment, I think.
Yes, that is indeed what you'd be wanting. Yeah, you kind of need to build up to some sort of a crescendo, and this is the best way to kind of move that forward. So yeah, Ray PMB says next should be Aiden and then Miller. I agree with you. I think we've already gone past I think Timber's window, unfortunately. You'd want guys who are striking at a much higher strike rate to kind of push the impetus in this innings. And these two are there. If these two are there at the back end, we're scoring 240. Because, you know, I think these two can score 150 in the last 10 overs. They are that good and that explosive. Yeah, it's always been a wonder for me why a guy like Rassie van der Dussen never got an IPL contract, because I think he's one of the better top order batsmen in T20 cricket. He did get one contract, I think was injury enforced last year, but he never got on again because I live and die with these Lions players, and Rassie's one of the best.
Yeah, I think with Rassie is that he has a bit of a reputation of taking a little while to get going. Just looking at his T20 international record overall, 33 matches, 839 runs, a really good average of 34.95. But that strike rate is 128.4. So, along with a lot of the South African batsmen, in fact, the sort of global benchmark at the moment, people are wanting 130 plus. So something for Rassie to work on. But he's certainly a very integral part of South Africa's batting lineup. Yeah,
and in this period where you don't have a lot of superstars coming through, you just need guys who are consistent. And Rassie's been that guy in limited overs cricket and even in Test cricket for South Africa. We're back again with some live pictures. You've got 3 fielders on the leg side, square of the wicket for Rassie, as Mark Wood resumes with starts his spell with a ball that was slightly back of a length, and Rassie just played that down. It kind of jagged back into him, and he played that to the leg side for a single.
I think it's interesting that Mark Wood is only coming on now in the second half of the innings, because I think that could actually help South Africa a bit with the ball a bit softer. His extra pace is actually going to bring the ball onto the bat a bit better. So, yeah, he's obviously a very dangerous bowler, a good bowler, and getting on the ball, keeping low at that pace poses dangers, but it also gives the South African batsman a bit of pace to work with.
Yes, and he's not the better. He's not a better death bowler than Jamal Mills. And right now, obviously, England are on course to using 5 bowlers, which is might fall into South Africa's favor a little bit. The way the first bowlers have gone, as this one's outside the off stump. Quinny plays that. It was short, it was wide, but he couldn't connect with it, and he played that one square of the wicket to the fielder in the ring for a single.
Yeah, Liam Livingstone can bowl a bit.
If Liam Livingstone comes in, we need to attack him.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's a proper sixth bowler to me. So definitely, I mean, a bit like Aiden Markram. Markram's done a very good job with the ball for South Africa.
Markram's like 5.5. Yeah, even though I at times I'm like, let's not. Oh, next one, Rassie pulls out that ramp again. He's like, look, if you're gonna bowl at a 150, 145, I might as well just help it along. And he flicked it over the keeper, over long stop for 6. Really, really great shot.
What a shot by Rassie van der Dussen. That was brilliant. Using the pace, and England are struggling with their line here. Rassie van der Dussen, just by often walking outside off stump, has really caused them problems.
Look, there's another Ashes-related scenario that could happen, is that England aren't playing at 100%, trying to make sure that they can get Australia out of the tournament. Next ball played out to the leg side. Fine leg is there. Single is taken. Look, we've been speaking to a lot of to some correspondents around the world. The Australian correspondent Jalissa Apps on our podcast, Full Quarter Podcast, she said that Australia doesn't care about this World Cup. All they care about is the Ashes. Some people, if you ask them on the street if the World Cup's on, they were like, well, they didn't know. And in England, there's this Yorkshire situation happening that's just causing a lot of taking away from the cricket actually on the field. And supposedly the fans are only going to start tuning into watching England next week, even though they've been playing some incredible cricket. Next one's played out to the leg side for a single. Score goes up to 84.
Tell that to the players and Look, England, there are not that many players involved in the T20 World Cup who are also involved in the Ashes. So it's quite a different group of players for England as well. And but even Australia, I mean, you could see the hunger and the passion there today, because Australia, frankly, have had a very poor record in T20 World Cups compared to 50-over cricket. So they're very hungry to tick that box.
And short ball, that's going to be called wide. Rassie just, he even needed duck underneath it. He just tried to just fend it away and it just went over his head. So an umpire from the West Indies, Joel Wilson, signaling wide and standing like Christ the Redeemer on the other end at square leg. So that's really good. This partnership's worth 69. It's been a very good partnership from these two. They've truly, put in because this is essentially what the game plan for South Africa has always been. You just need two guys batting for a very long time. As is a leading edge, bounces in front of the 3 incoming fielders at point. Quinny was already on his bike, and there was a shot at the stumps on the non-striker's end. And it was actually Quinny who actually came through. So the South Africans did take the run, and he made it home safely. 12 runs off the first Mark Wood over. Long may it continue. 85 for 1 after 11 overs.
Yeah, Mark Wood managing to drag a bit of pace and bounce out of this pitch. That bounce of his was 146 kilometers per hour. Rassie van der Dussen getting the dive in. So he was always going to be safe, even if there was a direct hit by Owen Morgan, the last ball of the over.
Ray PMB on YouTube saying, use the pace. talking about that ramp from Rassie. And then Arvin says that is a super shot using the pace pre-decided. And that's essentially what you need to get your players to that point where, where can I score boundaries, and if I do a premeditated shot, what's the safest one? Adil Rashid resumes. This one's a leg break ball that starts on middle, and Rassie, because he's already outside of middle, manages to use his bat to shape it out to the leg side for a single.
Yeah. Just will be interesting to see if Rashid does straighten his line in this over, because at the moment, Van der Dussen definitely getting the better of him.
Yeah, this myth of right-handers and leg spinners. Right, Rashid in again, and Quinny plays it down the wicket. There is a fielder at long on, and he is caught out. He has his bat on his hands. It was a risky shot to go long, and Jason Roy with the catch. Quinton de Kock out for 34 of 27.
I figure he just got half a bat on this shot, and that's why I didn't beat the fielder at long on. Big stride and the big hit straight down the ground, but just not enough on it.
And that fielder isn't there generally straight. He's actually more squarer, more deep mid wicket, cow cornerish, and he had to come around to get it. That kind of shows you how slow the ball was moving in the air. From a pace perspective, that Jason Roy managed to come around the boundary. But for everybody who's listening and everyone who is wanting this man to succeed, Aidan Markram coming in for the Proteas after Quinton de Kock. He's the Proteas leading run scorer in this tournament with 110 runs, and he'll be hoping to make the most out of this situation, that this platform that Quinny has left him.
Yeah, when you asked me at half-time in Paul what I would say to the Proteas, one of the things I meant to add was the importance of one of these two batsmen batting through, so that you've got an in-batsman at the deck. And so that'll have to be Rassie van der Dussen now, who's on 45 or 33 balls. I wonder if that was a bit of a slider from Adil Rashid, and de Kock only got the outside half of the bat.
But he got it low on the bat as well. As Rashid bowls to Rassie van der Dussen, who just uses very soft hands to just play it out to the leg side for 2 runs. He truly is controlling Adil Rashid at this point. 88 for 2. Alvin says QDK is gone. He was just not timing the ball, and hopefully he comes into form in the India series. Oh, yes, in Cape Town. Probably one of the best bubbles you could be in. So that's going to be quite exciting, because I'm angry that they took that series away from the.
No, bro, it's just the one test has been moved to Cape Town. Just the New Year's test. So the other games are as scheduled.
So Boxing Days at Centurion.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And the first test at the Wanderers.
So the Indians wanted to spend New Year's in Cape Town.
Apparently it was also to do with a request from the High Commissioner of India, because they're planning a big celebration around the Gandhi Mandela links between the two teams, and the High Commissioner wanted to have it in Cape Town. So the Wanderers have kindly agreed to give Cape Town a New Year's test.
Okay, that's good for relations amongst different countries. Rashid with a shorter ball wide outside the off stump, and Markram plays that down the wicket for a single, flat batted shot. Ray PMB says, I'm assuming QDK could have used his feet against the leg spinner, probably getting his feet to the ball and then not necessarily needing to use a lot of power to get it down the ground. Rashid's taken 8 wickets in this tournament. This one was sliding onto the pads, but Rassie is in such good form that he manages to play that out to the leg side for no run. Had he missed, that would have been plum. But that's the end of that Rashid over. It's a wicket and 6 runs for South Africa. Yeah, end of the 12th, 91 for 2.
That was almost like French cricket by Rassie van der Dussen. French cricket shot he ended up playing. He kept very low, that ball. It might have been missing off stump. We'll never know. It's not important because he got a lot of bat on it. And what a wonderful tournament the wrist spinners have had in the T20 World Cup. I see 3 of the top 5 wicket takers are wrist spinners.
It's Zampa, Hasaranga, and
Rashid. Yeah. And I imagine Tabraiz Shamsi is not too far off the top 5 either.
Yeah, that is very true. Van der Dussen coming through. Mark Wood resuming his second over, and Rassie just playing it out to the offside. There's a quick shot at the run and a shot at the stumps, but Aiden Markram is safe at the striker's end. But most importantly, Rassie reaches his 50 runs off 37 balls. Really good innings for Butma 1000, as we call him, one of the few men to score 1,000 runs in a domestic 4-day cricket in South Africa.
Yeah, that's an outstanding 50 by Rassie van der Dussen off just 37 balls, 4 fours and 2 sixes, a strike rate of 135, which on this pitch, slow, is a really good effort indeed.
Ray, continue our conversation about the Wanderers. He says, would love a pitch like 2018 Wanderers India versus SA where Algo is hit in the head. Next one, just it's a little bit too high, hitting Aiden on the pads. And Rassie's so good with the presence of mind, calling his partner through, and another run to the South Africans. To finish that, he says, where Algo is hit in the head and Bumrah versus QDK or Bavuma was spicy.
Looks like the previous single that Van der Dussen took to get his 50, Aiden Markram might have been in trouble if there'd been a direct hit there from quite close range.
But I do think, at this point in the innings, you got to take risky singles. You got to try and push the run rate, minimize the dot balls as much as possible. Next one is a short ball. Rassie tries to pull this behind square, doesn't connect with it. 143 k's an hour, and it bounces. It's on its way to the fielder at fine leg, and so a single has been taken.
Yeah, very important. I agree with you that the momentum can't afford now to drop off with a new man at the crease, and Rassie van der Dussen certainly seems to have realised that, and Markram as well. So certainly a minimum of run a ball. They've got to keep those singles going and try and get a boundary and over as well.
Aiden has fielders outside the ring behind square, 4 of them, and just one at long on, and he plays this one to one of those fielders at deep back with square. The South Africans are choosing to come through for 2, and they managed to do that really well. The score goes up to 96.
Very well placed that by Aiden Markram to get 2 runs out of it. A very risky shot. The bottom hand kind of came over the top hand to find the gap through mid-wicket.
Yes, Ray says, Mark Wood has already bowled quicker than Rabada, 149 kilometers fastest ball by Wood, an average speed of 143. Rabada's fastest ball was 145 with an average speed of 136. I think Kagiso is never, I know he was quick when he started off, but I do like the pace range that Kagiso is at right now. I don't need him to be express pace. His height and his accuracy are what I need from him. Short ball from Mark Wood, pulled square to that fielder at square leg. I think it's Liam Livingston at square leg for another single.
Dead right in for. Rabada's doing just fine. He's quite fast enough in the 140s, and with the extra skills he brings, express pace isn't going to do you much good really on this sort of pitch. It's more your skills. So I'm pretty sure Rabada's probably been bowling within himself a bit as well in terms of outright pace.
Oh, short ball, and Rassie's just put that on the roof. He's put that on the roof. 6 runs. What a great shot to end that over. It's now turned a 6-run over into a 12-run over. Really well done, South Africa. Break the 100. It's 103 for 2 after 13.
And again, Rassie van der Dussen stepping outside off stump, and England are just not adapting to this tactic. and Mark Wood feeding him with a shortish delivery, and what a wonderful hook shot that was.
Because essentially you'd want to bowl a Yorker length ball aiming at middle and leg to kind of bring him back into where he normally is. Instead of necessarily.
You've either got to go wider, but then you're risking a wide, obviously, or come a bit straighter. You know, you don't want to give him room to swing his arms, which at the moment England are doing.
I know it's a beautiful shot from Rassie. That 6 is something that, you know, is a sight to behold. It. Next ball, Rashid is in to the attack. Aiden Markram sweeps him to the fielder at mid-wicket on the boundary for a single. Everyone, I think the producers are fascinated with Rassie's 6. There's an England and a New Zealand fan in the crowd just going, wow. 82 meters long. Could have been longer had it not hit the roof.
There is something about a batsman hooking an express fast bowler that is one of the great joys of cricket.
Yes, it is. Next ball from Rassie outside the off stump, playing out to the leg side for another single. Score goes up to 105 for 2. And then Ray saying, although Nokia and Harris Rauf have been quicker than Wood, as both have fastest balls of 153.1 and 153.7, Nokia's average speed is 144.9 and Rauf is 145.3. And he's just saying that Rabada is far better than Wood. He's just giving us stats. Keep them coming, Ray. We love those stats. This one, just a single taken off of that last ball, or was it just still waiting for Rashid to get back to his mark? Yeah, single taken off of that ball. And then, the next ball is played off the back foot by Rassie. This is the fourth ball of the 14th over. 4 singles have been taken, and that was off the bat of Rassie.
I think that previous delivery that Markram took a single off was probably the best length Adil Rashid has bowled in the spell. Markram very nearly
Aiden, come on. He gets to the pitch of the ball and he's like, I also want to join this party with you, Rassie. I want to hit Adil Rashid for 6.
Again onto the roof. Wonderful strike by Aiden Markram down the pitch and heaving over a wide long on. Didn't really get to the pitch of the ball, but just great timing and power, really.
But Aiden's improved this part of his game, his ability to play forward to spinners and trust himself as he gets there. And obviously with T20, he's now obviously been a lot more aggressive. Last 5 overs minus 1 ball, South Africa 48 runs and 1 wicket. He learned this in Pakistan where we kind of saw him coming forward because obviously playing spinners is a dance. Either you play them very late or you play them very early and come forward. And he loves to come forward. And it's really, really good to see that he's made himself, turned himself into the much more all-round batter that he is. Next one, he comes forward to that one, just plays that out to the leg side with a straight bat. And that ends that over of 11. And Rashid's finished his 4 overs, 1 for 32. Moeen's finished his 4 overs as well. So that means it's 6 overs of Chris Wokes, Mark Wood, and Chris Jordan. I fancy South Africa getting as close to 190 as possible.
Sure. That would be good. Yeah, just to follow up your point about Markram and Paul, and it's not just him. You know, I've just been thinking how much the whole batting unit has really improved over the last year compared to where we were, say, when England were here previously. So there's been massive improvement across the batting as a whole, I feel.
Ray on YouTube says, see, Markram used his feet and almost skewed it bottom of the bat, but the momentum is taking it over the boundary. In reference to Quinny de Kock, he's just probably comparing the two to say that similar type of shots, one had the momentum, one didn't. And then Ray says, Adil Rashid's dismissal of Quinton de Kock was the slowest delivery of the evening. He dropped it to 82 kilometers per hour.
So England, as we speculated, have a bit of a juggling act to do at the death, because Mark Wood, unless they bowl Livingston, Mark Wood is going to have to bowl 2 overs here at some stage in the death. And he's already gone for 23 runs in the 2 overs he's bowled already. So certainly opportunity.
So I'm assuming they've already kept him for the final over. So you just need to find 1 over of Mark Wood in between here. Because that's where I would hide my worst bowler.
Well, there's 6 overs left, and Wokes has only got 1 left. Jordan's got 3 left, and Wood has got 2 left. So unless you bowl Livingston, Wood has to bowl 2.
And the first ball of Chris Jordan's over, 1 for a short one outside the off stump, played out to the offside for a single.
Chris Jordan, very much the key bowler now for England. He's the death specialist with 3 overs left. Chris Wokes doesn't bowl that often at the death. He's just got the 1 over left.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you'd want to keep a Chris Jordan over for the end, but if he's got 3 left, he's going to have to bowl out. And then you just have to figure out what happens on the other end with Wood and Wokes. Rassie trying again to ramp it up, but he misses this one as Jordan follows him to the leg side. And a very good ball for Chris Jordan because it's a dot ball. And Rassie looks a little perplexed and a little bit scared. Chris Jordan looks like he's won a battle here against Rassie because it nearly castled him.
It's funny when you miss the shot like that. It looks like the lamest shot on earth. It almost looks like Rassie wasn't ready for the ball. That he was trying not to play it.
Yeah, it does look a little foolish if you miss it. Next one, outside the off stump, hitting Rassie on the pads, I would assume. I don't know if you got a lot of bat onto that. They come through for a quick single, 116 for 2.
Yeah, Jordan already showing what a good death bowler he is, how difficult he is to get away in these closing overs. He's really got a big bag of tricks.
A very, very big bag of tricks. South Africa in a very comfortable position here, 8 runs per over going at that run rate. They need to try and push it up to probably 9 or even 9.5 from this perspective. Markham gives himself room, plays it out to the offside. As we've been saying all broadcast long, the square boundaries are well protected, and a single comes through from that one. Just
Markham
a reminder.
Markham's got going quite nicely here, 15 or 10 balls. So he's settling in well.
That's very good. Rassie tries that ramp shot again. Chris Jordan thought he got something on it, but he didn't. Look, it's looking like Rassie's getting very tired here because he's now starting to premeditate that shot a little bit more. But yeah, look, if it helps him get boundaries, then yes. But when he misses it, it looks so bad.
Well, it's difficult because where else are your boundary options with Jordan? The cross-bat shots, the bounce just isn't there to play those shots safely, and the boundaries straight are protected. So it is a shot that if Rassie van der Dussen can pull it off, it will bring reward.
And yeah, next one, these two just run through for a quick single, and it's a 4-run over. Chris Jordan's managed to pull it back a little bit for England, 118 for 2 after 15.
So 5 overs left. I think South Africa need to get 50 absolute minimum in those last 5 overs. If they can push that up to 70, wickets in hand always. If one of these two can bat through, there's so many different permutations. But if they get to 180, they will feel that they are in this game and also in with a chance of still making the semi-finals.
So this is South Africa's best period in the middle overs, 78 for 1. The previous best was 69 for 1. So they are, and to give you context, the best score out of this tournament in the middle overs is 97 for 1. That was Australia, 97 without loss, and that was Australia. I think it was today, which gives you something to think about. But yeah, South Africa really batting better than they have throughout this tournament. And yeah, look, they saved the best for last, but it might just not be enough.
Also, in comparing these stats, it's important to note that the three different venues in the United Arab Emirates, very different conditions. That Abu Dhabi pitch today was a real belter. I mean, there was pace and bounce. We had Australian fast bowlers getting guys caught behind, fending at balls. So there was a lot for the batsmen to work with there as well. And with Warner set and going great guns, I'm not surprised they scored 90 odd in the middle overs.
Yeah, it's one thing I admired about Australia is that they came into this tournament with so many questions, and they've answered each question as they've gone along throughout this tournament. It's admirable about how they've managed to fix it, because everyone said they struggled against spin. They worked out South Africa's spin attack. They've worked out every other spin attack they faced in this tournament. They said that middle order wasn't solid enough, and they've never, and it's become better throughout the tournament. Finch and Warner out of form. They're now finding themselves back into form. What a shot from Aiden Markham. Chris Works comes back for his last over, and Aiden says, "It is your last over. Let me send you with a little beautiful gift. It's 6 over long on. Really good flat batted shot. It would be a home run on any baseball ground in the United States." That's how he hit that. He stood there and he delivered.
That's the danger with a bowler like Chris Wokes at the death. His strength, line and length, that was good up front, can become a bit of a weakness now because the batsmen kind of know exactly where he's going to be bowling the ball. Just on Australia, you were talking about in Paul, just how crucial that first game of the tournament now between South Africa and Australia is, where Australia really just sneaking past the Proteas. If only the Proteas could have batted a little bit better, got 20 more runs.
And that's where I will judge this team the most, because they've had 2 months to prepare for Australia and they just looked underdone. And yeah, that's my one irritation about this tournament was you had 2 months for Australia. It's like an open book exam, and you failed that. That hurt me the most, because I don't think this Australian team is good. But the problem with Australia comes with the fact that as they get into the tournament, they know how to win tournaments. It's like ingrained in their psyche as a team. And they become better, and you wanted to hit them and hit them hard at the beginning of the tournament. But we are the ones who got punched in the face.
Again, I think a bit of luck of the draw involved as well, where you play them, because the pitch did help their pace bowlers.
And Ken Russie's teeing off. It's the first tee in Sharjah, and Russie just dispatched the ball down the middle of the fairway to the leg side for a lovely 6. He's picked that shorter boundary, and Chris Wokes has gone full. He went short, he got hit for 6. He goes full, he gets picked up for 6. There are fielders there, but Russie does not care for fielders. He cares for the crowd, wants to give them some excitement, and that was pretty exciting.
It's over mid-wicket, but it's a straight bat shot again by Rassie van der Dussen. Again, using his feet so well to give himself room to clear his arms. And, he's timing it beautifully at the moment. This is classic Rassie van der Dussen, accelerating at the end.
Yeah, that's really good. Ray PMB says he will. We've got some comments about Rassie. He just questions, the only one thing he lacks, honesty, is power, but he's shown that in the last 2 balls. That's why he's focusing on scoops. I know he did amazing against Pakistan, but different surface and very small boundaries. Then Ray says South Africa will need approximately 60 runs to qualify for the semis. You're not missing anything. Owen Morgan's decided to have a discussion to ask Chris Wokes what he's trying to do. And then, because those two balls were diametrically opposed to any plan that they've set up for Rassie. Ray also says he will smash by charging. He also says how crucial was South Africa versus Bangladesh in Paul. Yeah, no, that was pretty crucial. But we lost wickets early on, and I think that's what kind of stopped the run rate. Virat Kohli explained
that pitch was very seamer friendly.
But Virat Kohli explained it yesterday against, I think it was Scotland, as this one's played out to the offside. I think they're going to come through for two, or yes, they are easily two, comfortable two. Kohli said, they got that, they beat Scotland and they got that total in like just after 6 overs. And he said their band in the team room was 8 to 10. And he said it had to be 8 to 10 because you don't want to go out too hard. And you have to give yourself some sort of a buffer if you lose wickets early, 20 balls to kind of get the momentum going. And to a certain extent, I can't bemoan South Africa for Bangladesh because of the fact that we did lose wickets early. And it was very seamer friendly, as Ken says. Next ball's played out to the offside for a single. Ray also says the short boundary is on the leg side right now. That is very true. 67 meters 6, and that's gone comfortably over the rope. We thank Sharjah for that. Because I think in the IPL, last year's IPL, there were 200s. It was 200 versus 200 at this ground because nobody could defend. But the only problem is that the pitch has been so worn because of the amount of cricket that's been played on that, it's been like 150 versus 150. But I think South Africa today might push it to 180, which brings us into the game because England scored 150 on this pitch the last time, but against the Sri Lankan bowling attack, which I think we are better than. Oh, Aiden Markham gets a full toss. It's the third 6 of the over as he dispatches that over long on. Look, if England want to give us full tosses, we take them because we need that 50. We need that buffer. And so far, South Africa are now pushing that run rate closer to 9.
This is just where you see a team get rattled because they've been taken out of their successful game plan of the past. The Tymal Mills injury has really messed up England's plans at the death. Normally, Chris Wokes would not be bowling now, but he has to. And we're seeing South Africa really cashing in.
Yes, and that's a 50-run partnership between these two. Very, very good to see Aiden Markram, Rassie van der Dussen putting South Africa on their back and taking them home. Oh, that's very wide. Surely that's a wide ball. That one is wide. Aiden tried to swing at that. And the umpire does not signal it. I think Rassie...
bottom edge. I think he got the bottom of the bat to it, maybe. A little scratch.
Yeah, well, lucky for Chris Wokes. That ends his over of 21. And South Africa 139 for 2. They are needing to score a lot more runs, but that over of 21 truly does help.
Well, it now brings 200 possibly into play. 61 off the last 4 with 2 set batsmen is not impossible.
That is about 15 runs and over, which is very, very plausible, especially with an in-set batsman like Rassie van der Dussen, as well as Aiden, who's on 21 of 12.
And 2 of those overs to be bowled by Mark Wood, who's already gone for 11 and a half and over.
Ray PMB says 75 meters offside, 61 leg side on mid-wicket. Looks like this is the side wicket where Afghanistan played Scotland. Mark Wood's going to have probably the 2. Well, it won't be the biggest overs of his life because I think in the semi-finals he's going to have to try and stop either Pakistan or New Zealand or maybe India if you are an Indian fan thinking that they're going to lose to Afghanistan tomorrow. So he's going to have to hone his skills in here to try and replicate them later on. First one, cuts Rassie in half. Very good outside the off stump. As Ken, as you were saying, you wanted to deny Rassie room, and he did that really well.
Yeah, he still bowled it quite short. Van der Dussen had the pull shot out, but I guess the vagaries of the bounce do make that shot fairly difficult to pull off all the time here.
That is very true. And next ball in from Mark Wood. A full toss. Rassie sweeps that to mid-wicket for a single.
Big
Second.
loopy, slower ball.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's still 146.
Yeah, it's you got to be very good with your lines this side. And South Africa have capitalized on England's slight errors in line. The margin for error in this ground is so small because the ground is small in itself, and you're seeing that today because this England attack is not it's not scrubs. They're very good, and South Africa are doing an incredible job to be in this position at this time in the game. You kind of need a boundary in this over to kind of kickstart a big over that the South Africans would be looking for. Oh, Markham gives himself room and he manages to cut this ball over the fielder at backward point in the ring for 4 runs. Really good batting from Aiden Markham, just showing all his skills. He's like literally got his skill box out and he's now showing you the nice little nuances that he's added to his game. I've always said this kid's being picked on potential, but his ability is coming through.
That's a phenomenal shot by Aiden Markham because Mark Wood, who's practically bowling at 150 k's an hour, followed him outside leg stump, cramped him up, and yet with that same wristiness he showed earlier in the piece, he managed to get a powerful cut shot away. Unbelievable batting.
The great thing about that shot is that Aiden was playing the angles. Had he been standing on middle and off, that goes straight to the fielder at backward point. But because he gave himself a little bit of room, the angle got a lot acuter, and then it beats that fielder. And also he managed to ramp it up in the air. So really, really good to see. Next ball in. Oh, this one just Aiden trying to play it on the leg side, but he plays it. He doesn't connect it well, and it's just a leaning edge down the pitch. Nobody got near it, but it was a safe as houses. So it's a dot ball for England.
Where England have missed a trick today is that Rassie van der Dussen, who's on 77 or 51 balls, has scored 85% of his runs on the leg side. So that tactic of stepping across to off has really worked extremely well for him. But you'd expect England to adapt a bit better and not allow a guy who favours the leg side to score so freely in that area.
Yeah, and Ray PMB agreeing with you. He says it's quite clever. The offside is very small. That the offside that Aiden was facing is quite small. Wood in again to Aiden Markham. This one is short. Aiden pulls this one. He doesn't connect with it, but it will land very short. And it's a pitching wedge type of land. He just pitches and just sits. But the South Africans managed to come through for 2 because the field is square of the wicket on the boundary and not in the ring. So safe shot, or safe miscue, and good value, 4 runs there, 2 runs coming off of that. 7 off this over so far with 1 ball remaining. I wouldn't want South Africa to feel the pressure to look for another boundary now, but do be aggressive in your intent to see how far you can go. Try eye the longer parts of this ground. Oh, this one's a short one, and Aiden finds the gap on the point on the offside for another 4. The score goes up to 150 for the South Africans. Aiden goes up to 31 of 16, and Rassie still on 77 of 51, but the score is already at 150 with 3 overs to go. 3 bonus overs here, Ken. That's what you want from South Africa.
Yeah, so far this innings has been set up perfectly because the last 3 overs now, they can really go hell for leather with 8 wickets in hand. They're certainly not going to get bowled out. So in a very,
And
very
you've got
strong
Miller
position.
in the hut. You've got Dwayne Pretorius in the hut. Gagiso would come in after them. So yeah, with 18 balls left, this is the moment to try score a boundary, pretty much of everything, because you've got the firepower, and this is the moment. The third 50 for South Africa, scored off 24 balls. It was 44 the first one, 36 in the second one, 24 the third one. Can we make it 18 for the last one?
So the last 100 runs have come off 60 balls. So that's 10 and over. So we really couldn't have asked for a much better batting performance than this by South Africa.
And if you put pressure on them with the bat, they could falter. Starting off, we could take some quick wickets and we could put them under pressure. And it could be one of those situations, because England, for the past 4 years, have been feast or famine. It's either they're very good or they're very, very bad. So it's either 200 or 100 all out. So I'm hoping that today, based on the law of averages, because they've won every game so far, this could be the 100 all out.
Yeah. They struggled a little bit against Sri Lanka, but adapted very well in that game.
Mm-hmm. Chris Jordan's in again for his second last over, and he's outside the off stump. Rassie was outside that off stump as well. He bowled a really lovely ball that Rassie just drove out to extra cover for a single. Singles are good for England right now. So Chris Jordan is just very good. And you can see the lengths that he bowls at the death. He focuses on the fuller length as well as that Yorker length, 45% on the Yorker normally. But at this World Cup, he's been bowling shorter at 52% short balls and only 12% Yorkers in the death overs for England. So it's going to be interesting, because obviously on this pitch, if you bowl short, you can back yourself to clear the ground. Well, and Jordan in for his second over. That's a full toss over. The field is in the ring. The ball's gonna bounce. The field isn't good. It isn't great, and it just lands like a pitching wedge. But there are overthrows as well. So South Africa managed to get 2 off of that Chris Jordan ball, that full toss, which is good. You want to always just look for that extra run and great presence of mind from the 2 in the middle.
Malcolm certainly didn't get all of that, and it was in the air for a long time. And just a wayward throw, really, by England.
Yeah, very wayward throw by the English, who have been fielding very well throughout this tournament. I know this tournament has been the tournament where catches are dropped, and everything's been happening in the field. Chris Jordan in. It was 3 off that last ball. Rassie was looking to tee off like he always does to cow corner. He missed it entirely. There was an appeal for caught behind, but Joel Wilson is unmoved. The time is still going, but Owen Morgan does not look interested.
Yeah, that previous ball was in the air for such a long time that I was a bit upset that South Africa only ran 1 initially and not 2, but they did get the 2 and then the overthrow.
Yes. And Chris Jordan looking to be in again, one of the best death bowlers in the world. Only 4 of the first 3 balls of this over. Rassie again coming outside the off stump and missing that ball, but the overthrows here enabling South Africa to take a single off of that ball. I think it's much better. I think Aiden Markham enjoys Chris Jordan bowling to him than Rassie van der Dussen, but I'm loving the aggression from Rassie. We just need him to connect with the ball.
He seems to be struggling to read the pace of Chris Jordan. We know he varies his pace so much. He's got so many different deliveries, and the overthrow coming there, a bit rash by Josh Butler to have a shy at the stumps, wicketkeeper.
This is South Africa's highest team score in this World Cup, 155 for 2 with 14 balls left. Aiden facing up to Chris Jordan. He tries to heave this one down the ground, and only will result in a single. Very good bowling from Chris Jordan. That was 130 k's an hour.
Yeah, he's been quality, Chris Jordan, again at the death here.
Yeah, no, and obviously having Timor Moles would have just cleaned it out for England and made Owen Morgan a little bit more calmer as a captain, because there's that one over of Chris Wood left to be bowled. Ramp shot from Rassie, and he gets it over the inner ring, over that boundary line. Oh, just inside that boundary line for 4. That ends that over. It's an over of 9. And South Africa on 160 for 2.
Yeah, very important boundary at the end there by Rassie van der Dussen. He's been trying to pull Jordan from that same line, but changing tack now and going for the scoop over short third man, and very well pulled off.
Yeah, the problem with that scoop, it kind of feels like Rassie doesn't know where the ball's going to go.
Well, I think you're never sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure every batsman in the world, they say keep your eye on the ball, but I'm pretty sure that as you play that shot, your eyes are closed and you're hoping for the best.
Because the worst thing is you can play it back to the bowler.
You could play it anywhere, really, if you don't execute it properly.
So bonus territory for the South Africans. So far, they've managed to add 10 runs in that since they've gone into 150. You've got Chris Wokes in there, and Markham is now trying to enter the scoop team. He tried to scoop it behind, but he missed it, and that's a dot ball to England to start off Mark Wood's final over.
Just amazing skill, really, the scoop shot, because you're trying to catch up with the ball going at high pace and trying to hit it with the sort of smallest part of the bat, just about.
Mm-hmm. And Markham plays that out with a flat bat, and England have been truly sloppy. They ran the first Kual, and the attempt at the stumps was so bad that it enables the South Africans to come back as an overthrow. But there is a shot at the stumps. It does break the stumps, and they've gone up to check if Aidan Markham's been run out. So we just have to look to see what the decision is.
I fancy his home. It was the bowler this time, Mark Wood, trying to kick the ball really pretty unnecessarily. And Markram is well home. He's almost past the return crease by the time the ball hits the stumps. The bowler only has himself to blame there for that extra run.
Next ball in from Mark Wood. Aidan Markham dispatches that out of the ground. Okay, not out of the ground, just over the boundary there for 6. And he takes his African total to 168. Really good shot. Always be ready for that short one. And he was, and he put it away.
Superb pull shot by Aidan Markham. It looked a bit better than it ended up being. I thought that was going to clear the boundary by a long way. It was a slower ball, though, by Mark Wood. But a majestic shot by Aidan Markham. He was watching it quite anxiously. Obviously felt off the bat that he hadn't got all of it.
Yeah, no, he probably was. Next one, Aidan heaves this one with all his might, and it goes out to square leg for a single under edge there from him. So far, 9 off this Wood over. 4 balls have been bowled.
Yeah, I imagine that ball's a bit soft now, and on this low and slow pitch, it's thank goodness for the extra pace of Mark Wood, I guess.
Yes, that is very true. But this is his final over, so we have to capitalize, because Chris Jordan on the other end has been bowling superbly. So 75 meters to cow corner for Rassie, and he plays this one out to the leg side, and they're probably going to come back for 2, and they do, because the fielders are all on the boundary, need to make a lot of ground, and that takes the score to 171 for South Africa, 2-6-1-2. That is 11 off of this over already, with 1 ball remaining.
Yeah, Rassie van der Dussen being rewarded for a miss hit there. If he did that properly, it would have been a 1, but kind of dribbled its way through mid-wicket.
Mark Wood in outside the off stump, but he plays this one. Rassie plays this one to the leg side. They're going to run for 2 because everyone's on the boundary, and that takes this 11 run over to 13. End of that of the 19th over, 172 for 2. Really great job. 73 for 2. Really great job for England to restrict South Africa in these final overs.
Oh, good cricket, though, by the Proteas there. It was a much slower delivery for Mark Wood, only 124 kilometers per hour. And the batsman realizing that his best option was to just push it through the infield and get the 2 with the field being set very deep there on the leg side.
Yeah, and look, I'm a fan of 2s, and so if you take 2s, that's great, because that's a 200 strike rate on every ball.
Yes, very much so. And this is South Africa's best partnership of the World Cup so far. Van der Dussen and Markram have put on 87 runs now for the 3rd wicket, and it's come in less than 8 overs.
Wasn't that beating the partnership between? No, it wasn't, because I know I think Rassie came in at around about 86. Oh, Markram came in at 86. Oh, Chris Jordan, final over. He bowls a Yorker length ball, and all Aiden could do was play it onto his boot for a single.
So, can South Africa get up to 190? Because that would put them very much in the driving seat, and of course also open up the opportunity for them to win by around 60 runs, which is what they need to do to get into the semi-finals.
Yeah, because right now you kind of have to restrict England to under 120 to go through around 115, 114.
Yeah, if we only get to 180, yeah. So a big over could make a massive difference here.
And this one is under-edged down to fine leg. The fielder does a really great job for coming around. Rassie did slip as they were looking for the 2, so unfortunately that won't happen. It's just a single.
Not sure the 2 would have been on there. Mark would do some really good work quickly around the boundary, and a quick release as well.
Rassie is tired. He is so tired, but has done an incredible job of keeping this innings together. Chris Jordan at the top of his run-up. Owen Morgan must be loving this. Oh, wow. He's not loving that. That's a 6 over long off, and that's 50 for Aiden Markram. His second 50 of the tournament. Similar number of balls, 24 balls, and a really, really great innings from him. He has really stepped up for South Africa. To think he wasn't selected for the Pakistan T20 squad, and it took a couple of injuries and Reza Hendricks' daughter being born for him to come into the squad and stake a claim. And he's done that incredibly well, and his form continues.
What a talent this young man is. Well, he's not that young anymore, but what a talent, just to totally change his game, turning himself from a top order batsman into a middle order batsman in T20, and a boundary hitter, as he's shown in this inning. That's his 4th 6 from the 24 balls he's faced in this knock.
And he's probably got himself a very high price at the IPL auction with those 10 teams as he plays this one down the ground. Is there a fielder there? There will be. It's Jason Roy, just a single in that. So far, for the first 4 balls of that final over, have gone for 9. Can South Africa try get this to 190 with a few boundaries to close this out?
2 fours will do it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what price Eden Markham goes for at the next IPL auction, because he's going to be sought after.
It's the second fastest 50 of this World Cup. Lokesh Rahul got there in 18 balls against Scotland.
Yes,
but then it's Markham, faster than Josh Butler.
Oh, and Russie's teed off. He has teed off, and it's a 6. It's a 6. And a beautiful, beautiful 6 in it. He just literally came down the wicket and he flat batted that over cow corner, the longest boundary in Sharjah, and that takes South Africa to 188 and the partnership to 100 runs. South Africa are, well, I wouldn't say cruising based on the scenarios that they need, but they are doing incredibly well today. They're going out in a blaze of glory.
Wonderful effort by Jason Roy there, running and diving. He actually got his hand to the ball in midair, but unable to knock it back into the infield. And he did himself a bit of an injury, crashing into the boundary boards. But he seems to be okay. So 188 for 2 with the ball left.
I was telling Simon about self-preservation. I was like, sometimes as a batsman, when you're fielding out there and there are some balls you're not going to get, just leave them. Don't fight it. Don't try to create an injury chasing balls that are hopeless. Chris Jordan, final ball of the innings. It's wide, and Russie's played that out to point. Very good bowling there from Chris Jordan. They came for the single, and South Africa end the innings on 189 for 2. So essentially, South Africa need to bowl England out for 128 to stay in this tournament.
Well, that's a fabulous effort by the Proteas. Win or lose, make the semi-finals or don't, they have certainly done themselves proud today against the best team in the tournament to produce their best batting performance of the tournament as well. That speaks volumes to them. Huge credit to Rassie van der Dussen. Wow, what an innings from him. 94 not out or 60 balls, and a beautifully paced innings as well. Perfect sort of anchoring knock and acceleration at the end by van der Dussen. Markram, 52 not out off 25 balls. Really fiery finish to the innings as well. Credit to those 2 men. And let's not forget Quinton de Kock, who played well up front for 34 off 27 balls.
And England's worst nightmare has just come alive. They haven't been able to take the wickets they've been able to do throughout the innings, and they couldn't get South Africa out. Ken, you were asking for 70 runs in the final 5 overs. In those final 5 overs, South Africa scored 71. So that's really good to see from this pair. And if you want to go through the scorecard, England won the toss. They put South Africa into bat. Reza opened with Quinny. He was out bowled Moeen Ali sweeping, missing a sweep shot, 2 for 8. Quinny de Kock came in, 34 for 27. And then after that, it was the Rassie and Aiden show. Rassie scored 94 of 60. Aiden Markram, 52 of 25. England bowled 7 extras. England's bowlers, the pick of the bowlers was Moeen Ali, 1 for 27. And Adil Rashid, 1 for 32. Chris Jordan, 0 for 36. Mark Wood, no wickets for 47. And Chris Wokes, no wickets for 43. It actually creates a lot more questions about England's bowling than anything else. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll be taking a break. We're going to keep the stream live, and we'll be back for the chase. Thank you very much, Ken, for the stint, and we'll see you sometime soon.
Thanks very much, Impo. Yeah, that was very pleasurable indeed.
Yes, very pleasurable. Thanks. Let's just do that.
Hello, and welcome everybody to One World Sports Radio, Gorilla Cricket, South Africa on One World Sports Radio. We are ready to start the England chase of South Africa's score. They need 190 runs to win. South Africa need to bowl England out for, 130?
Oh,
Anis?
yo, I'm here. Yo, just trying to get the lighting right so that I don't get lens flare. 130. Oh, it's going to be tight.
131, says our producer, Mpo Motwane.
131.
Tweet us in at One World SR on Twitter, One World Sports Radio live on YouTube for the watch along, and 1WSR.com for the audio feed. We're also on TuneIn, One World Sports Radio. No, Gorilla Cricket South Africa on TuneIn. And please follow our channel on YouTube, on Facebook. We're live as well. Follow us there, retweet and share. This is going to be epic. South Africa have their destiny in their own hands for a change in an ICC event.
It's the hope that kills you.
Let's see if our bowlers can do what our bowlers have been doing for the past 3-4 years and save our asses from embarrassment.
But here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Is that it could be. Do you remember the 2010 World Cup where South Africa they needed to? It wasn't in their own hands, so they beat France something like 4-0 or something like that, and they still lost on gold, and they still didn't go through to the next round on knockout stages, and.
Yes.
Or they like they needed a win to win to go through to the World Cup, so they win. But the other team went through on goal difference because they beat who they were playing better, and the matches happened at the same time. But now we know, and I just hope beyond. Oh no, I can't. I'm not going to use that word because that's what kills you. As I keep saying to Mpo, it's the hope that kills you.
We did beat France 2-1, says Mpo, in the 2010
Oh, sorry,
World
2-1.
Cup, but it was
Sorry.
a draw with Mexico. We should have beaten Mexico. And when was it Chabalala that scored?
Yes, the first goal of the World Cup.
Cup, and everybody went wild, and then that bloody Mexican came back and scored the equalizer. Okay, but today we are playing England in the T20 Men's World Cup. Keshav Maharaj is ready to open the bowling, and I need to sync up with you. So I'm just going to pause this one, and you tell me when you see the first delivery, Anis, and then we'll be synced up. So we were so wrapped up in the intro that the cricket had started. Yeah.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm going to be this way the entire stint.
Here we go. Hold on to your hats. So let me know when you see Kesh bowling.
Kesh is standing at the top of the mark, looks up, does a little prayer, and he releases, and straight back to him for no run.
So that was Jason Roy on strike, the right-hander, and he is with Jos the Boss Butler.
Jos the Boss.
So let's see if Jos can be removed quickly. This one again by Keshav, left arm round the wicket, full and on, middle and off, just defended by Roy, no run.
We need to get this England top order, get rid of them very quickly. I'm so worried about that short boundary. It's so short.
And this one is just paddled by Roy. A shortish ball outside off, and he just dabs at it, and it bounces short of Maharaj on his follow, but almost carried back to the bowler there. This one is off the back foot by Roy. He plays this out to long off for a single, and England are off the mark. The chase is on. 130 runs before we need to remove them or restrict them in the 20 overs. So we're not going to restrict them to 131 in the 20. We're going to have to bowl them.
Yeah, we're going to have to bowl them out.
That mark. And so that is the mark, not for the win for England, but for South Africa to move past the net run rate of Australia if we win the game. Step one.
Step one, yeah. Because, oh no.
And then if we can bowl England out for less than 131, we will be above Australia in net run rate and go through to the semis. This one outside off, defended by Butler to point, and they decline the run.
Someone offer someone like a leather jacket or something, please. Just, I was so disappointed that the West Indies didn't do us any favors, especially with the start they had, going like 30 or 2 point something over. I was like, oh,
this one on leg stump by Maharaj is just defended, and they do go through for another single. This one went to square leg. End of the first over, 2 without loss, 129 runs to play with for South Africa. England need 199 to win. They need 189. 89. Sorry, 89. 189 to win. So they need they need 190 to win. So they need another 188 runs off 114 balls to win and top the group and dump South Africa out of the T20 Men's World Cup. So job done for the first over. Only 2 runs. Anrich Nortje will be bowling the second. And it's been said that the Sharjah pitch, which they're playing on today, you need to score all your runs up front in the first power play in the first overs, because once the ball goes soft, it's a bit more difficult. But South Africa said, hold my beer. Rassie van der Tussen. Around the wicket to Butler, and this one goes straight to short extra cover, and they go through for an easy single as there's a bit of a fumble, but it's only a single, 3 runs without loss, and Josh Butler is off strike, so that's good from South Africa's point of view. It was a solid drive, just a very nice cover drive there, and Temba managed to stop it and parry it out to the man at mid-off for a single, 3 without loss.
Can we just wax whimsically about Rassie's innings and Aiden Markram? Yes, and Aiden Markram scoring at like 200 strike rates is amazing stuff. Fastest,
absolutely amazing.
Second fastest 50.
Yeah, when we needed them, they stepped up, did our batters. Nortje into Roy, and this one has struck him on the pads. That looks out, but it might have been drifting down leg. Yeah, Nortje is also signaling he thinks it might have been going down leg, and I don't think they should take the review here. No, Temba says, let's go. We need the wicket.
Oh, no risk, no reward. Oh, it's hard.
Yeah, he was stuck in his crease, was Jason Roy. He's not sure. He's not looking very confident. He didn't look very confident in the field when I last saw him just before we had to leave. Let's see. This one pitches just on middle and off. It might be a bit high. It struck him above the roll and he's jumping in the air. So I think that's going over.
Yeah, no. Going over. As for a pitch that's supposed to be low and slow, or it be keeping low, they got a agonizing wait for ball tracking. Umpire's call.
That's a review loss there for South Africa. It looks like. Let's see. Maybe there's a clip of the stumps and we keep the review. I think that's the best outcome that Nortje can hope for. But Roy playing all around that, stuck in his crease, both feet in the toilet, as they say. Not moving forward at all, going back to Anrich Nortje fast delivery. Usually doesn't end well for batsmen. So let's see what happens with this one.
Ball tracking.
Yeah, it's going over. Hits him in line, goes over the wickets. Review lost. South Africa have 1 review left. England have 2.
Going over by quite a bit.
Yeah, that's Roy was back in his crease, jumping up in the air, and it struck him on the roll. So that might have deceived the South Africans into thinking that that might be a chance. 3 without loss. 2 balls gone in the second over.
In comes Anas.
Yeah. Anrich Nortje in again over the wicket too.
This
one strikes him on the pad once again. But
that one is definitely going. No, don't go up, Temba.
That's
just
going down leg. That's definitely going down leg. struck him right in front of his leg stump. So Nortje is looking dangerous once again. And he's bowling that on a good length, but it's hitting the batsman like, around the top of the stump. So there's not a lot of bounce in the surface for sure.
We just hope that they can keep them quiet for the
Nortje in again, full on leg stump, and this time Roy steps away, gives himself room, and he plays a very nice back foot off drive past the bowler for 4. First boundary of the innings for England, 7 without loss, 1.4 overs gone.
That was a good shot, top shot. Give him credit for that.
Yeah, no, it's a very nice
and well timed. We didn't try to overhit it, but it was played well and straight, beating mid on.
Yeah, footwork from Jason Roy there to get to the pitch there. Nortje in again to Roy. This one outside off stump, and it's played out to mid off for a quick single. Throw comes in, but Roy is safe. And 8 without loss, 1 ball to go in the second over. So that would mean another 123 runs to play with for South Africa.
I'm writing it down every over.
To get the 10 wickets they need to go into the semi-final along with England. England will top the group. Their run rate is far beyond the reach of South Africa, I think. Nortje in again, and this one is struck by Butler magnificently in the slot. Outside off stump, and Jos Buttler says, thank you very much. I'll do this all day. 12 without loss, 4 runs to long off. That is the danger of Jos Buttler. I mean, that was just timing and just a magnificent.
Yeah, Timber's not happy. His fingers strapped so. Oh no, that's a lot of strapping. Ooh, Kesh having a second over. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Will they go after him?
Well, I think from England's point of view, they've already qualified.
Yeah.
There's no pressure on them at all. And what you want, if you're a spinner, is you want the batsman to take you on. Yeah. Then you get the miss hit, you get the stumping and so on. Keshav,
here's the shot.
Around the wicket, Roy takes the shot there over... long on, and it bounces once for 4. It's another boundary to England, 16 without loss now, 2.1 overs gone. That was just, I think, too full there by Keshav outside off stump. Let's see the replay here.
I used his feet well.
No, it was foot movement there by Roy. It was a good length ball, but Roy came down the pitch to meet the pitch of the delivery. Keshav in again, left on round the wicket. And this one is just played lazily out to wide-ish mid-off for no run. Dot balls are gold here for South Africa. They need to build some kind of pressure. No pressure for England to win the game. Keshav in again. This one is on middle and leg, and just quickly brings it back down for a dot ball there. Jason Roy was deciding what he would do, but the ball rushed him a bit, and he had to just push his bat down to stop it from going onto his stumps. He gets a thick inside edge onto his pads. Keshav in again. Roy steps outside leg stump. Keshav tries to follow him, but it's too short, and Roy just pulls it to square on the onside for a 4. And that's 20 runs without loss now for England. 121 runs to play with for South Africa. Good pull shot there by Jason Roy.
111 runs. We are Nelson. Come on now.
Yeah. 111 runs to play with. Keshav in again to Jason Roy. This one is just flicked out to mid-wicket, and they will take at least 1 as the man from the mid-wicket boundary runs in. Yes, it's just a single there. And it's 21 without loss. 1 ball to come in the third. So Keshav's out of the attack.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to bring into Shamsi during the power play.
No. Keshav into Butler. He steps down the wicket and just plays it out to extra cover for a quick single. Good running there by England.
Keep rotating this
without loss after 3. They on just over 7 runs and over. And now it's only 109 runs to play with for South Africa. 109 runs to dismiss all 10 England wickets and go through to the semi-final.
Proteas need wickets.
Yep.
As my stream just dies, and
Oi.
I'm back.
This is what an innings by Rassie and Aiden Markram. They've sort of been there or thereabouts for the past 2-3 years. We know what they can do, but they never quite fired. And today they just went click,
and
it was amazing.
Kagiso Rabada into the attack. Our main strike bowler. Let's go.
He's replacing Nortje. He needs to take wickets for South Africa. Kagiso over the wicket to Butler, and this one is just nicely timed by Butler. A check drive through extra cover onto the boundary for 4. Good shot. Yeah, excellent shot. 26 without loss. Just piercing the field there. Timing exquisite. What more can you say? This man is just playing a cut above the rest at the moment.
And it's proper cricket shots he's playing. It's not like he's trying to innovate anything. It's just proper cricket shots.
Nothing fancy, just stroking it through the covers, using the pace. The timing is there. Rabada in again to Butler over the wicket. And this one is played across the line by Butler, gets a thick inside half of the bat out to the deep mid-wicket boundary for 4. And 30 runs are up for England.
Just
101 runs to play with.
Oh, no. Just as I was saying, he was playing proper cricket shots. He goes and plays that just to prove me wrong. Just
went and fetched that outside off, but his timing is so good that the inside edge goes just in front of square on the onside to the mid-wicket boundary for 4. So Rabada into Jos Butler again. And this one is on leg stump. Just looked like a bit of a slower ball out to fine leg for a single. 31 without loss.
I was actually looking at bat manufacturers and what they were offering, and they actually have a bat that's thicker at the bottom, and at the the edges around it for the specific thing, for power hitting and hitting the way that Josh Butler hits, so that even if you do get an edge, it just flies off. Specifically for T20 batting, where it's actually thicker at the bottom, so there's a big power. All the power is at the bottom of the bat, not centered in the middle.
Interesting. And does it fit through that bat measuring thing? Rabada over the wicket to Butler. This one is just glanced off his pads down to a very fine leg by Jason Roy, excuse me. And that's another boundary to the English total. 35 now without loss. And it's not looking good here for South Africa. England rocketing along in the power play.
Yeah, it does. It does fit through the bat measuring thing. It's just that the bulge, which is normally where the bulge is just a bit further down.
I see. Rabada into Roy, and he just plays this off his hips down to fine leg for another single. Very expensive over here by Kagiso Rabada to start off. And it's 36 without loss.
I've stopped measuring how much they need to defend because I don't think they're going
4 overs. I think we can start worrying about that again when we've got like 5 or 6 wickets down, because these two. Roy looked a bit suspect, but Jos Butler is just looking magnificent, and it's a full delivery on leg stump by Kagiso Rabada. They take a single. Jos Butler keeps it out, and that is the end of the 4th over. 37 without loss. So almost 10 and over here. England are keeping up with the run rate. South Africa need wickets. That's it. So this is a formidable English batting lineup.
Keshav is bowling a 3rd over. Oh my! Here's the risk.
Pavuma, you crazy! You crazy bastard!
Is he bowling?
Maybe he just wants
Kesh
to get...
bowling. Yeah, is Kesh bowling trying to defend the short boundary?
I'm not sure which side of the field we're on, but Goes into Butler, who just
interesting.
dabs this one out to mid-wicket for a single.
Yeah, that
And
looked
that
like
will be
that
fine.
looks like that looks like the leg
South
side
Africa.
boundary is the short boundary, and he is bowling. Oh, do we have cramp?
Jason Roy is down.
Oh no, yeah, he did take
Jason
that big
Roy
tumble
is
against the side the advertising boards during
It
the.
looks like a hamstring.
Oh no!
From the way he's moving, it looks like a hamstring. He's on his he's
On his
sitting
side.
down on the ground. They took a quick single. This is not good for England.
Oh, you hate to see it.
He's he's down, lying on his side now. We'll see.
Halfway down the pitch.
Halfway down the pitch, the hamstring goes on his left leg, and he just manages to bounce on his right leg.
Oh, it's like he was
as he was just pulling away, accelerating down the pitch for the run. You could see the hamstring go, and he is in absolute agony. He's got
they've qualified for the next. They've qualified for the next, but just go sit down, take a rest. So South Africa have to get 9 wickets.
He might come back.
No.
He's wounded English Lion. I mean, these guys can play. It's hit and giggle cricket after all. They don't need him to run. But he looks in absolute agony.
No, I wouldn't risk any.
On one knee now.
It's done.
Getting up and trying to move around, and he's trying to put weight onto that left leg, but it's not happening. Physio is there with him, obviously, already taking off his other pad now. The pad is off his right leg now too. Trying to walk, but it looks like he's just going to walk off the field. His kid's getting picked up there by one of his teammates, and he's off. So we see a replay here. He goes for the run, and then the hamstring just lets go. Oh, that is so unfortunate for Jason Roy. Oh man, and he was looking a bit tentative, but he played some dangerous looking shots. So.
Good sportsmanship from Miller. Just tap him on the back.
Oh man,
it's fine. They've qualified. He just needs to go sit, get an ice bath, get some strapping, just chill out for the. Oh, it's gone again. Is it his cough?
Oh man, yeah, it's his.
Is it his cough? Ooh.
Yeah, now he's grabbing his cough as he's being helped off the field. He struggles to even keep up with.
No.
The people carrying him on their shoulders, and as he tries to put weight onto that left leg, it just goes again, and he reaches down and touches his calf. So it was his calf muscle that got strained there. Oh man, that must.
I wonder if that had anything. If that had anything to do with taking that tumble against the advertising board, because he looked like he was in a spot of bother when he hit. But wow,
it's difficult to say, man. I'm not a sport. What do they call it? Sport kinetics.
It's biokineticist, yeah.
Biokineticist, yes, or a physio. Just maybe something let go there in his lower leg, on his left leg.
I'll ask
I don't think he'll be able to continue. I don't think.
No. He needs to go sit. I'll ask my sister-in-law. She studied biokineticism.
Okay, so Moeen Ali is at the crease. The score is 38 without loss, 4.1 overs gone.
He does not look happy.
Yeah, he was screaming in pain with that face cloth over his face, with that cloth over his face, and it didn't look. And he was running to the striker's end. So Moeen Ali is on strike. And Keshav Maharaj goes left hand over the wicket. Moeen Ali drives this one off the back foot into the covers for a single.
Off the mark straight away.
Yep, 39 without loss. So effectively 1 wicket down for England. It doesn't look like Jason Roy will be able to continue. He's not even on the physio's table. He's just sitting, and he's got his head in his hands there. Keshav Maharaj now around the wicket to the right-handed Butler on leg stump. Just flicks it out to the man at fine leg inside the ring for a single. 40 runs up for England, 4.3 overs gone.
90 to defend, I guess. But That's one of the things. What's he defending then? If he's not defending the single, is he defending the boundary? But he's giving away the run. Oh
So Moeen Ali,
no!
Maharaj, left hand over the wicket, wide outside off stump, and that is a wide signal by the umpire.
We cannot.
41,
They
41
cannot
without loss.
afford that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to bowl a wide today unless you get a stumping.
Ooh.
Keshav Maharaj on off stump, and it's helped to the mid-wicket boundary by Moeen Ali for a single, bringing Jos Butler back on strike.
Somehow South
42
Africa,
without loss.
somehow the Proteas need to find a way to just slow the game down. Just slow it down, take control.
Yeah, all the pressure is on South Africa. Eh? I mean, I can't see how England could be under pressure. This one is just padded out to mid-wicket by Butler for an easy single. Even if they lose this game, England, as long as they take it to the 20 overs and score more than 140, 150, 150, they'll be fine because they've got almost 4 runs, positive net run rate. And we need to bowl them out for 131 to make up 2 runs.
Yeah.
To go past Australia. So I can't really see how South Africa can build pressure, but maybe, Moeen Ali swats this one wide outside off stump and full by Keshav Maharaj, and it goes to the extra cover boundary for 4. Fielders almost managing to keep it in, but it's a 4 to England's total. They go to 47 without loss after 5. And the storm clouds are gathering around me here in the northeast of Pretoria. It's also a no ball.
Free hit. Oh, that is unforgivable. Unforgivable from a spinner, especially in a T20. That is Whoops, sorry. Cash. Oh, spliced up in the air, but it's a free hit and it's dropped. What? Anik Nokia. Oh, just put it down. But it was a free hit anyway. Keshav Maharaj tosses it up. Moeen Ali has a hoik at it, gets an outside edge, and it flies high in the air to backward point where Anik Nokia is coming around. And he drops it, but luckily it's a free hit. I am Paul. Has Otto gotten stuck?
He's in some sort of frozen situation.
He's in a time loop.
Yeah. So you just carry on with ball by ball while I get myself sorted out, and I'll just help you out here. There are a couple of comments on YouTube. Arvin said Rassi is a superstar. You guys must acknowledge it, and I am acknowledging Rassi.
Yeah, whenever we not acknowledge Rassi van der Dussen is the question, though.
Not true. He's one of our favorite batsmen.
Put my 1,000.
Remove this Otto and add a new Otto.
New Otto.
Hey. No,
just as my Wi-Fi dropped, so there goes me. But so yeah.
Luckily, we've got on backup.
Yeah.
50 without loss after 5. And Nortje goes right arm over the wicket to Butler, and he strikes this one mighty blow over deep mid wicket. 6 runs. Fetch that, says Jos Butler. 56 without loss. What a shot.
It's waiting for. Oh no, we needed to get him early. We needed to get Butler early, but it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case today. 74 again.
Yeah, no, it was a valiant effort by the South African batsmen. The bowlers are just looking a little bit clueless here especially against Jos Butler. He doesn't seem to be troubled by anything at all. What a position to be in, where you can just hit Anrich Nortje over deep mid wicket for 6, and it doesn't even look like you tried. That's unbelievable batting by Jos Butler. He is on 24 of 13 already, and some in Darbas there from the captain and Nortje full on leg stump, and Jos Butler manages to squirt it out to long off. Temba runs it in, and they go through for a single. No, that was two.
Yeah.
2 runs taken there, 57 without loss, and 5.2 overs gone. Nortje now conceded 16 in 7 balls.
Oh. It's getting, you know what, the Proteas might win this game, and we'll be happy about that. Oh, we've won. We only lost 1 game, but we're getting knocked. But it's still that disappointment of getting straight to him. Gone. Yes!
Nortje to Butler, straight to Bavuma at mid-off, and Butler is out. Caught by Temba Bavuma, bowled by Heinrich Nortje. He tried to repeat that previous shot where he managed to get the 2 down to mid-off, to long off, but this time it's a bit of a slower ball there by Heinrich Nortje, and just gets the inside half of the bat and straight to Bavuma. Catches it low to the ground. Very good catch there by the captain, and Heinrich
Look how much that means to Heinrich Nortje. Oh,
we see the back of Butler.
Is that the spark that the South African team needed?
Oh, well, 1 down, 8 to go, my friend. That's as simple as that. That's all we needed, was 1, and it was the important one. It was the Butler wicket. Okay, so there's a bit of a break here in play. I mean, England bat all the way down. To I mean, even Chris Wokes and those guys can swing a willow. So, and once again, there's no pressure on them as a team. They've already qualified. There's nothing to lose for them. Owen Morgan is a big match player. Johnny Bairstow comes in at number 4 with Jason Roy.
Johnny Bairstow's in.
England are effectively 2 wickets down, 58 for 1. I mean, Bairstow is as cool as you like. He's got the all-round game. He's a very good T20 player. He's a good player in all formats. Yeah, I mean, this is still a tough task. I mean, if England are 8 wickets down, they can still chase 200.
Yeah.
So South Africa still have a lot of work to do.
It's time for our bowlers to step up and do what they do. They have a job to do, and it's time for them to pull up the big boy pants and do it.
Into Bairstow. The batsman didn't cross there. That's how fast the ball went to Bavuma, but they take an easy single out to the onside. 59 for 1. Effectively 59 for 2 with Jason Roy retired hurt. Yes, that went like a bullet straight to Bavuma. No chance for the batsman to even cross. But Bairstow's off the mark with a single. Moeen Ali on 8 off 4. Bairstow on 1 off 1. I wonder if you got Butler's batting figures there.
We got so caught up in it.
Moeen Ali now facing Heinrich Nortje, left-hander facing the right-handed bowler coming over the wicket to the left-hander. This one is just outside off stump. Very quick delivery on a good length, just defended out to the offside for no run, straight into the covers. 59 for 1.
Yeah, Josh Butler made 26 or 15, 3 4s and 1 6.
What an innings! I mean, even that little start for England, that's all you need from your openers. Just get the ball rolling, get going, and England going at nearly 10 and over already, which is more than they need to chase the score.
Yeah.
So just ask our producer in 4 here. This one is on leg and middle, and Moeen just gets a leading edge as he tries to flick it off his hips. No run. If the rain noise on the roof becomes too much, I'll have to just move inside. But my whole house has a tin roof, so I don't think that'll help much if the rain comes down hard. If the noise becomes too bad, just let me know. and then I'll just maybe mute my mic when I'm not talking, or ask you, Anis, to do the ball by ball.
Yeah, if my Wi-Fi holds out, we are having intermittent Wi-Fi problems with our service provider, caused by load shedding. I might add. Or rolling blackouts.
Those cell phone tower batteries can't hold up, eh?
Yeah.
It's the end of the power play. 6 overs gone, 59 for 1. Tabrez Shamsi into the attack.
Yeah. World's number 2 T20 bowler can bring that back to number 1 today with the performance that we know. I hope he's got his international calling plan on for his shoes, because we need a lot of work from him today.
So he's going into Bairstow. Left arm over the wicket to the right-handed Bairstow. Shamsi is in now. This one is very nicely done by Shamsi. Pitches on middle and off, and just straightens into the pads of Bairstow. Flicks it out to the onside for no run. Fielded by Quinton de Kock, running around from his wicket-keeping position.
Drops his glove, got his glove off really quickly to effect a throw if need be.
Yeah. Shamsi in again now, getting ready, and just aborting his run up there. He's coming in again now. Left arm over the wicket to the right-hander. This one is
gone!
Middle and leg.
Gone! Yes!
Bairstow is out. That's Plum.
Yes!
That's Plum.
Oh! Bairstow played back to 1. Didn't know too much about it. They're having a conference.
No,
Moeen Ali is telling him maybe go up. Are they going to go up?
I think the
that looked dead.
They've reviewed. England have reviewed. So let's see. This one pitches.
No. Middle and leg. Oh, this could be missing leg.
Ooh,
that could be missing leg.
That could be missing leg completely. You're right. Because we can see off stump, and the ball hits Bairstow on his front leg. Might be impact outside the line.
Did it turn too much?
Involved. There's space between the ball and the bat. It was given out, so it only needs to flick the leg stump, but it might have spun too much there for Shamsi.
In line.
Hits him in line and strikes the leg stump.
Gone! Yes, that's 2 down.
Yes. Well
done,
Shamsi. Well done. Is that who's that umpire? He's my new hero. I want to keep his face on it.
He's got one of the umpires has an unfortunate name, Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. Oh.
And as we know what Chris Brown did to Rihanna, it's an awful name.
Cringeworthy, indeed.
Yeah,
but
so
it's not that Chris Brown. He wasn't.
Yeah, that's not that Chris Brown.
Rihanna.
Yeah. He'd be so lucky. But
so 59 for 2. 7 wickets to go for South Africa to if they can get those 7 wickets before the 131 is scored, that's the equation for South Africa to get through to the semi-finals and go past Australia on net run rate. To win, England need another 131 of 82 balls. David Malan is in at 5 for England. So with Jason Roy retiring hurt, England have got 7 wickets in the bag. They've got 59 runs on the board, and South Africa have got 72 runs to play with.
Yeah. That's interesting that they actually put the England side of it as well. If England get bowled out for less than 87, which I doubt they will be, which is
they'll be out.
They'll be out.
They're going home.
Oh, yes, if England get less than 87, they're going home.
Oh wow, that will be a shock for the ages. A result for the ages and a wonderful achievement for the South African team if they can manage that. But I think that's highly unlikely.
Yeah. That's I don't think that's within the realm of possibility.
Well, cricket's a funny game, man. 7 more good deliveries and England are all done back in the hut. So Malan facing Tabrez Shamsi, left arm over the wicket to the left-hander who strikes this off the back foot out to the sweeper on the boundary. They should only get 1. They do only get the single. 60 runs on the board for England after 6.2 overs. That was a good decision by the umpire. Good delivery by Tabere Shamsi. Pitched on middle, hits leg, and Bairstow just trying to flick it off his pads and missing it completely. Shamsi into Malan again, to Mo Ali, the other left-hander, sorry. And it's through to the wicket-keeper for no run. Almost getting an edge there is Shamsi, and he's looking dangerous. He's getting some turn here. He's getting that ball to straighten. And now he's bowling to the left-hander, so the wrong one has to come in. This one pitches on leg stump, and it's just dabbed out to square leg by Moeen Ali, the left-hander, and they go through for a single. 61 for 2. 1 ball to go in the 7th over. Good over here by Shamsi. Dot, wicket, 1.1. So 1 ball to go to finish it off and make it an excellent start to his 4-over spell in what essentially is a sort of a quarter-final here for South Africa. Shamsi in again to Malan, through to the keeper. Malan tries the cover drive there and just gets some fresh air, and Quinton de Kock takes the ball behind the stump. 61 for 2 after 7. This looks much better by South Africa. This looks like a team that can make it past Australia, go through to the semi-finals, and then
they're having those conversations. They're having those conversations. Who's Temba going to give the ball to? Aiden Markram. No, this is a risk. Let's never say.
To the left-handers. It's the off spinner. It's the right arm off spinner to the left-handers.
Did he take the advice of QDK into Braze? Oh,
I like this by Temba. This is like, you know,
never say that he didn't take risks.
The best man for the job type of thing. Markram does have a bit of a golden arm. He has taken wickets in crucial stages before. He's got some more protection on the boundary. He does turn the ball away from the left-handers. It's 2 new batsmen at the crease. Ali has only faced 8 deliveries. Well, that's enough to get his eye in. And then Malan has only faced 2. So let's see as Aiden Markram.
The short boundaries on the leg side. So that's interesting. Oh, that's it.
This
that's
one
the
is
line.
just played straight into cover for no run by Moeen Ali. A bit short there by Markram. He's lucky to get away with that. Should have been punished,
he's got I think he's defending the short boundaries on the left-handers offside. So he's defending a long boundary that side. So that's probably part of the decision. Oh,
this one pitches on middle and leg, and it just flicks down to mid-on for 1. 62 for 2, effectively 62 for 3 with Jason Roy retired hurt. If you've just joined us, where the hell have you been? Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Follow us on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. Ding that notification button and you'll know when we go live. 62 for 2, 7.2 overs gone. Aiden Markram will now go to David Malan. This one is outside off, and it's another drive by Malan. And the ball keeps low, goes through to the keeper for no run. So it's face there by Aiden Markram, the bowler's standard issue. Pitches outside off and just doesn't bounce half as high as you would think through to the keeper. And that's a dot ball. 62 for 2. 3 balls to go in the 8th over. Aiden Markram's first over. Only conceding the 1 run so far. He goes right on round the wicket. This one is a bit full, driven out to long off for a single by David Malan. 63 for 2. 2 balls to go in the 8th over.
Is Aiden Markram going to try to sneak? Is Demba trying to get Aiden Markram to sneak through some overs? That's going to be great.
Yeah, it's the 2 left-handers. Moeen Ali comes down the crease. This one is on leg stump, and it's almost a caught and bowled there. Aiden Markram dives to his left, but the ball rolls out meekly to mid-on for a single. 64 for 2.
Oof.
Was that a catch or a bump ball? I'm not sure.
He committed. He committed.
Well, he almost stopped the single there, did Aiden Markram. So
yeah, it was worth it.
64 for 2. Markram around the wicket to
Oh.
Malan, and this one is just on a tight line, middle and off stump, defended back down the pitch for no run. 8 overs gone, 64 for 2. England down to 8 runs and over. 3 runs off that Markram over. Job done for Aiden Markram. 7 wickets to go for South Africa. Jason Roy retired hurt. 2 wickets down are England. Jos Buttler, the most important one, back in the hut.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Johnny Bairstow, LBW by Debre Shamsi. And
66 to play with. Oh, it's getting tight. 7 wickets.
yeah, 66 for 7. South Africa needs 7 wickets before England score another 66 runs. If England score 131 runs, South Africa are out of this competition. Australia and England will advance. So that's the equation for the South African fans out there. The Australian fans will be backing England, can you believe it, in this match. Debre Shamsi to continue, left arm over the wicket to the left-handed Moeen Ali, and it's just lazily stroked out to cover for no run. Moeen Ali is on 11 of 12, David Malan on 2 of 5. So I think they look like they just want to see off Shamsi here by the way that Moeen Ali played that shot, but he's looking for the bad ball. So Shamsi in again over the wicket. Moeen Ali steps down the wicket, full toss, makes that into a full toss, and just strokes it beautifully over the deep mid-wicket boundary for 6.
And he didn't have to
look. 6 or a 4?
That's 4. That's
a
4.
4.
He was looking for the bad. He was looking for the bad ball. He didn't have to look too far because it was right there.
Yeah, it's too full by Shamsi, and Moeen Ali meets it, comes out of his crease, and 3 bounce, 4 there. So 68 for 2. Shamsi into Moeen Ali, tries to play the cross the line to that onside boundary again, and it's through to the keeper for no run. 68 for 2. And it's 8.2 overs gone. Shamsi is 1 for 6 off 1.3 overs.
Good take from Quinton in
ball
slow-mo.
Also just keeping low. Shamsi in again to Moeen Ali, who strokes this one very neatly over extra cover. Are they going to cut it off in the deep? Yes, they do. The sweeper on the cover boundary comes through. Moeen Ali goes through for 2. And that's 6 runs off Shamsi's over so far. England edging ever so closely, edging closer and closer to that 131 mark. It was almost caught there by extra cover. Temba Bavuma to run to his right, just evaded him. Shamsi into Moeen Ali, who steps across his off stump and cuts this one to point. No run. Straight to the fielder. 70 for 2. And that is 1 ball to go in the 9th. Debre Shamsi now 1 for 8 off 1.5 overs. His final delivery of his second over is cut once again, straight to the point. Good fielding there, no run. Quinton disturbs the stumps, I think, as he runs past. There were 6 off that over with the 4 and the 2. 70 for 2, 9 overs gone. 61 runs to play with for South Africa to get 7 wickets, 7 English wickets.
Yeah, England have to score 17 runs.
England need another 17 to qualify.
Yeah.
To go through.
Yeah. So,
jeez, wouldn't that be something, hey?
I know.
15 for 7 in the next 3 overs. Who's going to be the hero for Australia and South Africa? We see the comparative scores. England's worm just kissing the South African one, cuddling it softly, just touching it.
As my Wi-Fi dips again. I'm just
So the next over will be bowled by. Looks like it's going to be Rabada back into the attack.
That's brave. Oh, he's bowling to left-handed.
One over for 15. This one outside off stump, just defended by Malan out to mid-off for a single.
I actually said in a previous in a chat with on Twitter that they were saying David Milan's out of form and it's not really. I'm like, what's David Milan? The guy that takes we don't have to worry about Butler and the England superstars. We have to worry about the guy that isn't performing because that is traditionally South African.
Yeah,
with a guy,
that's,
and
that's
the unknown guy.
That's what makes this England team so good is that they've got quality all
the way down. Yeah.
all the way down. This one is on leg stump and just flicked off his pads by Moeen Ali to square leg for another single. So at 72 for 2, effectively 72 for 3. We don't think Jason Roy will be able to continue. Did his calf muscle, taking a quick single with Jos Butler earlier in the game. And that is 9.2 overs gone. 72 for 2, maybe 3. We don't know if Jason Roy might come back for some heroics. Rabada in full outside off stump and just a faint edge on it past the keeper down to the fine third man boundary for 4. 76 for 2 after 9.3, and it's now 6 runs off the over. David Milan just tried to meet that ball. It was full outside off stump out. But it's a 4 down to fine third man. Not a good shot by Milan, and this one by Rabada also full outside off stump, nicely stroked by Milan, and it's going to beat the fielder chasing it to the extra cover boundary for another 4. And that's 80 runs for 2 now for England. 9.4 overs gone. This is another expensive over by Rabada in the context of the game. 25 runs conceded now off 1.4 overs.
So is Aiden probably going to? I think they just snuck in over from Aiden. Are they going to try another one and then those be KG's remaining 2 overs because he is taking a pasting today?
Now Rabada better length this time outside off stump, just defended by Milan out to the covers for no run. 80 runs for 2 wickets. 9.5 overs gone now. And Kagiso Rabada 25 runs, 1.5 overs. This is he is usually on the expensive side, is Rabada, and he is a bowler that can pull it back. But Bavuma trying to get a wicket here. Rabada in on the leg stump of Milan, takes a quick single down to square leg. And it'll just be that. 10 runs off the over. 11 runs off the over. Excuse me. So that will be 81 for 2. And it will be a drinks break. 50 runs. 50 runs. We've only got 50 runs left to try and get those 7 English wickets. It's not looking good for South Africa, but they are putting up quite a decent fight. Bavuma is trying to, come up with some ideas, trying to use his bowlers cleverly. Rabada just letting his captain down a little bit there, but we know he can come back later.
He's going at 13 and over.
Sure.
That's not a... it's nerve-wracking. It's killing me. 50 runs, 7 wickets. Can they do it?
So if you are a rugby fan, we will start the rugby broadcast at 7:30, and that will be on a different feed on our YouTube channel. And then we'll switch over to the rugby as soon as this match is done and dusted. So thank you very much for listening. Tweet us in, send us your comments on YouTube. I'm not sure if Anis or myself will be able to actually respond to them, because if I touch my laptop too harshly, everything dies. So, but thank you very much for your support. We do appreciate it. Welcome to all our new YouTube followers and everybody who's been supporting us through the past few years. We're very happy to have you along. And then on the other side of Guerrilla Cricket, we were fortunate to start broadcasting 4-day domestic cricket today live from Centurion Park with SuperSport. So that was live on SuperSport's YouTube channel. And we're hoping that we can get some people in tomorrow into Centurion Park to continue that commentary. But I think it's still up in the air. The last time I saw that we do need at least 2 people there. And if you are interested in joining our commentary team, slide into our DMs, hit us up on Twitter.
Don't slide into my DMs because I'm gonna get in trouble.
Well, to the Gorilla, the Gorilla SA Twitter account, GUERILLASA at GUERILLASA or
Yes.
at One World SR. So Mpo is coming on
Or,
to give us some more info.
Or you can email me at Mpo, MPHO, at 1WSR.com. I'll put our things up. I'll create a banner for us.
Speaking of tweets, Jane with a Y, 24 minutes ago. I apologize, Jane. It took a bit. She asked Gorilla Cricket, the mothership. Where's at Mpo Mareki? We need him on comms. And Messi J's replied, he's on Gorilla SA. And then Jane with a Y then goes to say, Gorilla SA, hello! How much fun to listen to you for this match. Go Proteas at Gorilla Cricket.
Yay! Thank you.
So I'm here to read out tweets so you guys can focus on the game.
Thank you.
I've changed our banner. So you can contact us at mpo@1wsr.com or Simon at 1wsr.com. We're trying to get that contract to do audio commentary for the 4-day series. We did one today. It was really nice to be in a stadium again. That pool at Centurion looked very nice, by the way.
Oh, man. First delivery of the 11th over. That is Shamsi continuing. It is played down to long off for a single by Moeen Ali, bringing Malan back on strike. 83 for 2, 10.1 overs gone. 2 runs taken. Excuse me. It was David Malan. He's facing Shamsi again. This one outside off stump, outside edge. Almost beats the man. Does beat the man at third man inside the ring. The ball is going to stop in the outfield, and they'll probably run 3. Yes, they do. Moeen Ali goes through for the third.
England need one more to qualify.
86 for 2. 87 runs is the magic number for England. 131 is the magic number for South Africa.
With regards to the 4-day game, I think the groundsman at St. George's needs a good talking to.
86 for 2. Moeen Ali slaps this one straight to extra cover for no run. That wasn't a run.
Look, we've had 27 of the 40 required wickets happen in a day and a half because half the day was gone for bad luck. The Warriors are 41 for 7, 33 away from losing by an innings.
At home.
Shamsi left arm over the wicket to Moeen Ali, plays across the line and gets an inside edge, squirts out to backward point. Quinton de Kock runs to do the fielding there, and they take a single. 87 done and dusted. England are through. No danger of them falling by the wayside, even if they lose this game today. 10.4 overs gone. That would have been very nice if South Africa could manage to.
And most importantly, they top the group, so they avoid Pakistan.
Yeah.
In the
Shamsi
semi-finals.
over the wicket, reverse sweep by Malan to the man at third man inside the ring, and there's no run.
Speaking
5 runs
of
off the over so far.
It feels like they haven't played cricket in a week.
That's true. It does feel like a very long time.
Poor Pakistan, always getting the raw end of the stick.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if the Proteas aren't going to go through, which we don't know what's going then I'd be back in Pakistan for sure.
All the way, and they'll be on a collision course with England. Shamsi in over the wicket to Malan, wide outside off stump, and it's cut down to the point boundary, and it's picked up by the fielder. Now they'll come back for 2. That's 89 now for 2 after 11 overs. England are behind the required
Trust-
rate, but that doesn't matter to them anymore. They will go through to the
But they're ahead of
semi-finals
South Africa at this stage.
at the top
Yeah.
of the group. Yeah. So they will top the group. Doesn't matter what happens from here.
So
And
looks like
Hmm.
Timber does not want to bowl Dwayne because it seems like seamers are not going to work on this pitch. So I think he's going to go to Aiden.
Aiden,
'Cause-
golden arm. Oh, come on. If there was ever a time for him to prove that he's got a golden arm, is now. Can you imagine he gets 3 quick wins?
Look,
Stranger things have happened.
Oh,
Because if you look at England's quicks, they went for 10 runs and over.
oh,
Markram round the
Bump ball.
wicket, and it's a bump ball back to the bowler. Oh my word! That was pitched on middle and leg as Moeen Ali came dancing down the pitch and outside his leg stump. Aiden followed him, got the ball back into his hands. His right arm round the wicket to Moeen Ali, who strokes this one beautifully over extra cover for 6.
Smoked.
What
Oh.
a shot by Moeen Ali! Made that into a full toss, I think.
Yeah,
No,
England
just made that into a half volley.
Mm.
Just dancing down the pitch ever so graciously. And that's 95 for 2. What a shot by Moeen Ali.
England have decided they're not going to do us any favors.
Jane with the Y on Twitter says, still want the Proteas to win. Let's do this.
The win is on the
Even
cards,
if they
but
leave.
it's going to be bittersweet.
Guys,
Yeah.
we're a country of
Markram
moral
around the
victory,
wicket to Moeen
so-
Ali. This one is smoked past the bowler, just to his right-hand side. Beats the man at mid-off as well. What a shot by Moeen Ali. That went like a tracer bullet.
Aiden
A
is
6 and a 4.
If Aiden's
Aiden
bowling
Markram
hard
was
trackers
there.
like he is, they are going to go to the boundary.
Yeah. And it's giving us now
Oh.
only 32 runs to play with to get 7 English wickets. We don't think Jason Roy will be back in action tonight. And Markram needs to just tighten up his line here. He goes around the wicket to Moeen Ali down the leg side, and it's a wide down the leg
poor.
side. And that's 100 up for England, 100 for 2, effectively 100 for 3. And
Yeah.
3 deliveries to go still.
31.
31 runs to play with this one. Also down the leg
So
side.
down the leg side.
It's another wide by Aiden Markram. 101 for 2 now, England.
Why is he making a signal like
30,
like slicing his waist in off? What the
30
umpire?
runs. This one is on middle and leg, just dabbed out to deep mid wicket by Moeen
umpire.
Ali. Just the 1 run. 103 for 2. 102
I
for 2,
understand.
sorry.
I understand why Aiden Markram is bowling that line because he's bowling towards the long boundary. So he's trying to keep everything leg side, but he's just dragging it down far.
Hmm.
No,
No, and
but
then-
what he needs to do, he needs to bowl it a lot fuller to force the
Not to
batsman
push
to
the
go
drive, yeah.
square of the wicket.
This
Of
one
the
on-
wicket.
On the leg stump line, and Malan comes dancing down the wicket, plays this out to long on for a single.
If he's
103 for 2.
it's a weird dynamic because if he came, if he was coming around from the other end, he'd be forcing the batters to go for the shorter boundary, hitting against the turn. But now
Markram
he's trying to get
Ali
him to go to the shorter boundary against the turn.
flicks this off his pads on a leg stump line out to mid on for a single. 104 for 2, 12 overs gone. The runs are running out for South
27.
Africa to go past Australia's net run rate. If England score 131, South Africa are going home regardless of the result of this match.
We'll take the moral victory right now.
Well, I think
Ooh,
You know,
wee.
I've
I'm not
seen
there.
for a very long time that
Mm,
if we made it to the semis, I'd be very impressed.
yeah,
So I think if we can just beat England and go home with just the 1 defeat, that's good. It's more than I would have expected. I think the victories against Bangladesh and Sri Lanka especially were very sweet. The West
Otter,
Indies are
I'm not there
nowhere.
with you.
Well,
I'm not there. I'm not.
We have come.
Guys.
We
Shamsi over the wicket. Tumo and Ali steps down the wicket and smokes this one over long on, and they're going to have to ask for a new ball.
out. Oh, new balls, please.
That is over the stands by
Look,
Moeen Ali against Tabraiz Shamsi, 116 for 2. No, 110 for 2, sorry.
That's 102 meters.
Nah. No,
but
I've already hit the ticket. Yeah.
We knew that the brand of our cricket was so limiting. And today was the day that we kind of tried to get 190. But every time we play England, and we've played England a lot in the past 3 years, they've always beaten us. We put up these large totals and we lose to them. And so, like, what's the use? Who's got a airplane flying over him?
Me.
Oh.
It's actually a dude with a motorbike that keeps cruising up and down the street here from time to time. Shamsi in to Moeen Ali, steps down the wicket, strokes this one straight to mid.
Gone!
And he's caught on the long on boundary. Moeen Ali is gone for 27 or 27 balls, caught by
David Miller. Two hats Miller.
Shamsi. England 110 for 3.
Here comes the collapse.
110 for 4. Come on, the collapse. Come on, you Proteas.
Listen, I've already been through. I'm already at stage 4 and 5 of the stages of grief. I'm at depression and acceptance already. I'll take the moral victory. But
man, I mean, if there's any hope that was left, that hope just got a little bit brighter.
Yeah, but it's the hope.
Malan is still there. It's going to be Livingston coming in.
Hope is the only thing South Africans have. So
yep. Hope against hope. 21 runs.
Yeah, effectively hoping for
6 wickets to go for South Africa within the next 21 runs. And if England score 131, South Africa will be going home. Imagine if we bowl them out for like 133 or something ridiculous like that. That's going to be even worse.
What's to Bray Shamsi just hope he doesn't get taken apart by Livingston. Otherwise, he's going to say that he's discovered how to play.
Well, this must be the first time that Liam Livingston has put on his pads in this tournament. Has he had a bat yet?
Second time.
Second time that he's so he's new.
Bridges what?
He's new to the tournament, and he's facing the second best bowler in the world in T20 cricket. Shamsi is moving his field around. Liam Livingston is a right-handed batsman, and he will be facing Tabraiz Shamsi. The batsman didn't cross once again. This time, I think they might have had enough time.
In the 2016 World Cup.
So Shamsi into Livingston, inside edge, and just in between his feet and his sticks, and it goes to fine leg inside the circle for no run. Oh, wow.
2016, oof. Happened in 2016 World Cup, yeah.
We scored 200 in the 2016 T20 World Cup against England, and they scored, they bet, it was 220, and they got 224. So
Shamsi into Livingston again, flicked off his pads to the man at mid-on for no run.
So the question for me is, when you're preparing for the tournament and you're looking and you're doing all the things, surely England is the standard. You need to try and beat the best teams in the world and match them.
Into Livingston, he flicks this one outside off stump down to mid-on for a single. 111 for 3. England, 1 ball to go in the 13th over. Shamsi is
but it's okay, guys.
2 for 23 off 3.5.
Okay, yes.
1 ball to go.
We'll beat Wales. At least we'll better beat a British team.
Hey, that's not a foregone conclusion either,
I know. No.
The Wales team will have a lot of Lions players hurting and wanting revenge. Shamsi comes into the left-handed Malan and he flicks this from outside off stump. Just got enough bat on it, and it's a single.
You guys will enjoy this story.
Wide mid-on. and it's
So-
112 for 3.
So
13
last
others gone.
night at the Springbok Hotel, there was a fire alarm
Fire alarm.
Oh no!
in the morning.
That's old school, man. That's old school
Oh.
shenanigans, man.
Oh,
That's
I don't know.
lovely.
Who else played? Just took a lighter to the.
So the poor guys were waking up in the wee hours of the morning, and they're playing a massive game against Wales. I'm assuming that as we play Scotland and England, the shenanigans are going to increase.
Maybe that's how
Yeah.
they keep like
And
in the bubble.
And especially since they know the Springboks are forced to be inside their hotel. There's no way that any of the Springboks are anywhere else except in their hotel rooms. They probably put them on a high floor as well, so they had to run down all the way to the parking lot, to the assembly point, which nobody ever knows where it is. So yeah, good on you, Wales. We'll remember that one. That's fine.
Maybe.
You're not gonna do that when you come here.
No, we'll think
Yo,
of
because we're
something
too
else.
nice.
No, but guys, let's think about this, right? In our winter internationals, right, we shouldn't play these teams for 3 tests. We should play them each like 1 test each, and each
Yeah,
team comes through and
They
goes.
should do it. Yeah. I agree.
Because I like that format, because you play a new opponent every week.
Yeah, one-off test, and then let's take them out to Uppington and Kimberley for the test.
Yes.
Polokwane. This one by Nortje goes through, through to the wicket keeper, no run. Start of the 14th over, Nortje back
That's a
into the attack,
beautiful ball.
replacing Markram. That was a
148.
112 for 3, effectively for 4, and it's a dot ball. Nortje 2 overs, 2.1 overs now, 1 for 19. And he took the Jos Butler wicket.
But we had
Give
Wood
us hope.
bowling
I love how
152.
you call him yours.
Yours. Yeah, I don't want to say anything.
Nortje into Malan. Oh, and another one wafted outside off stump by Malan through to the keeper. No run. Come on, Heinrich. Heinrich, you've got him here. You've got his
150
number.
is just cranking it up faster.
So you've got David Malan, who's struggled for form throughout this tournament. You've got Liam Livingston, who hasn't batted in this tournament.
Yeah, but he still has to discover form. Because Livingston and he. Okay. Poor. Sorry.
He's keeping a journal on his way to form. This one is flicked off his pads by David Malan out to backward square leg for a 4 off the bowling of Heinrich Nortje. Straying onto the pads there a little bit, I think. 116 for 3. Good shot. So that one.
Well, muted himself. But there was, he moved, stepped across to off. And then
stepped across the off stump and just flicked it past the man at squarish fine leg, or between square leg and fine leg for 4.
No, guys,
into Malan again. And this one is just flummoxed. Malan all ends up. He tried to play the same shot, but the ball evaded his bat and just drops down next to him. Hit him somewhere. Hit him on the pad.
I would have said, rub it.
Probably in the stomach or something.
Rub it. India going home.
Yeah, we see the points table for Group 2. And India have 1 match to go. They need New Zealand to stumble. Against who are New Zealand? Afghanistan.
Yes.
Yeah. Oof.
And then they need to smack Namibia on
Nortje into Malan, who plays the short ball, slower ball, it looked like, out to mid-wicket.
147, that wasn't a slower ball.
Okay, well, it looked like it
died in the pitch.
Got the better of me and Malan. Yeah, died in the pitch maybe. But it went out to mid-wicket for a single, and they take that single, so it's 117 for 3. 1 ball to go in the 14th.
It didn't look like he got any bat on it. It looked like it hit him, and I was like, oh.
We'll check now if that was in fact a leg by. I'm not sure. We'll see when they show us
it
the.
wasn't. It just
it was
was
off
a
the bat.
proper-
Got bad on it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, he did get bat on it. It's chalked up as a single. 117 for 3. 1 ball to go in the 14th over. Andrich Nortje bowling to Liam Livingston, the right-handed batsman. So let's see what Andrich can do here for us. He's got 1 wicket already. Nortje comes into Livingston over the wicket, and this one is over middle stump. Liam Livingston walking across and tried to flick it to the leg side. Didn't get anything on it, through to the keeper. Dot ball. It went over the stump, so it's not a wide. That's a good over for South Africa, except we didn't get 3 wickets.
Yeah.
117 for 3 after 14. 6 overs to go. In England to win need 190. They need another 73 of 36. But more importantly for South Africa, only 14 runs that they have to play with. If England score 131, South Africa are going home.
Here comes a big moment for South Africa. The other seam bowler coming up, Dwayne Pretorius. Really, really important for him to hit his mark very early. He's bowled well in this tournament, though. Very low economy rate from him.
Is Demba gonna have Dwayne Pretorius bowl all the way through?
Yes.
15 that way, so
only
15,
2 overs.
Only 2.
Yes.
15 and 17. And then he's going to probably...
Because
Nokia's got 1.
2.
Yeah.
Anuf's got 1 and Gachisa's
got
but
KG's also bowled 2.
Yes, so KG's going to bowl 2. Dwayne's going to bowl 2. Anuf's going to bowl 1. Or yeah.
Yeah, so maybe 2 from... Oh, no, Pretorius will have to go for 3. Because otherwise Keshav has got to come back.
Yeah.
I thought Keshav bowled himself out.
No, Keshaw's got it. I think Kesh has an overlap.
Oh, he's got 1 more overlap.
So
okay.
Pretorius around the wicket to the left-handed Malan, who tries to sweep this to the onside. The ball dies in the pitch, goes through to the keeper for no run.
Rolls along the ground.
Standing out well outside his off stump when he tried to hit that.
Walked right across.
Pretorius is hiding the ball wide outside off stump. Malan tried to step over and fetch it. Couldn't quite get hold of it. Right arm around the wicket goes Pretorius. Malan steps outside his off stump once again. And the ball beats the bat in between bat and pad. But Malan is so far outside his off stump, it just goes through to the keeper for no run. 117 for 3. And effectively for 4 with Jason
chasing
Roy,
that wide line.
Yeah, and we see some replays of Pretorius' deft bowling there, hiding that ball outside off stump, full and wide outside off stump. And Pretorius in again. This one, Malan strokes out to long off for a single. 118 for 3.
Taking a lot of pace off of it, not really trying to bowl too fast. As Mpo said, it doesn't look like fast bowling is going to work on this pitch. So, no. Well, out and out fast bowling. If you're bowling 150, that's going to be fine. But if you're bowling 130, it's not.
No, so Ken and I was talking about this. Like, there's a spot in the pitch, roundabout back of a leg. If you hit that, the strike rate for all batters in this tournament is 77. If you go fuller than that, strike rate's 256. If you go shorter than that, strike rate is 156. So you need to decide where you need to go.
Sweet spot, yeah.
Yeah, and the margin is so tight. Whereas England will go full, and Aiden and Rizzo and Rassi will capitalize.
Pretorius goes to Livingston, outside off stump, cut to point, no run. 118 for 3. 2 balls to go in the 15th over. Only 1 run conceded so far by Pretorius. This is magic.
Good over.
By Dwayne Pretorius so far. Hopefully he can close out this over. I mean, if we can restrict England to 128 or something after 20, that will be amazing. But there's only 13 runs to play with for South Africa, and Pretorius comes over the wicket to Livingston, who steps down inside edge onto the pitch. They're going to go through for a quick single. The ball squirts out to square leg. Just the 1 run, 119 for 3. 1 ball to go in the 15th over. Malan, the left-hander, on strike to the right-hander Dwayne Pretorius. Jeez, man. So near and yet so far. England needs 71 off 31. South Africa need 6 wickets for 12. So David Malan facing Pretorius around the wicket. Steps outside his off stump. Strokes this one very nicely for 6 down, 2 long off. And that is a beautiful 6 by David Malan. 125 for 3 at the end of the 15th over. And only 6 runs more to dump South Africa out of the World Cup. Yeah.
So essentially, you need to force the English batsmen to play flat batted shots to the sides of the ground, not
straight
conventional cricket shots, long bats down the ground, and essentially that shot from Malan is a testament of where not to bowl.
Yeah,
and he bowled it even wide.
As you were saying, the margins are like a couple of inches shorter, and that's the perfect length, and you can't get underneath it like that. But when you need someone to be metronomical, it would be perfect right now. Just drop it in that same slot all the time, but then, or that's dropping at that same length the entire time.
And I think that's where KG struggles a little bit on this pitch. He's now, even in the what is it? The IPL, he struggled with his length, with finding that length on this pitch.
So 6 more runs to go before South Africa have to leave the UAE and the T20 Men's World Cup. 65 of 30 for England to win. They will top the group. Rabada goes right arm over the wicket to Livingston. He swings across the line. It goes high into the air, into the wicket stands. Out the ground.
That ball's catching a flight with the Proteas.
What a way to get
what a way to
the
go.
World Cup.
Oh, man. Okay, now we just need the win. We just need the win here, guys.
Get the consolation victory.
Yeah. We fluffed a great chance against Australia. It ended up being a very close game in that first one. But we really should have won that game. Should have, would have, could have, of course. We could have ended unbeaten in the group.
We could have.
Yeah. Given today's performance, but
you just needed to beat Australia, and then this game wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
The one game you had 2 months to prepare for.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one that gets to you. And that's the biggest 6 of the World Cup. 112 meters that ball went. The biggest 6 of this year's World Cup.
Livingston is strutting around as if he's just done something amazing.
He has.
He's gone on to 4,001 T20I runs, so congratulations to him. 131 for 3. 6 off the first ball of Rabada's over. England need 59 of 29. Another one, copy and paste. Swings across the line, the ball onto the roof of the stand. And that is Liam Livingston just flexing on South Africa here. 137 for 3. Another 6 off Kagiso Rabada.
It's a bad day in the
across
office.
The off stump. It's right in the slot. And execution is very good there by Liam Livingston. That's a great slog across the line, took our corner, sailing majestically through the air.
So there, KG went very full. First one he went short, next one he went full, and the same result.
Which of the English? One of the English bowlers did the exact same thing when Rassie was on strike, and Rassie smoked him twice. So they get back.
Okay, so the box of balls is on the field once again, and we're just about ready for the third delivery of Kagiso Rabada's third over. 137 for 3. Livingston is on 14 of 8. Malan on 33 of 25. Rabada getting bumped here. over the wicket to Livingston, straight past the bowler, sailing through the air once again. Has it got enough? Yes, it goes straight.
3
Yes,
sixes in a
cagey.
row.
18
Are you gonna
of
have
the
that
first
over?
3.
Oh,
Oh man, this is
Are you
not.
gonna get
This
to
is not
6?
nice.
oh no. Oh,
And now South Africa are in danger of maybe
losing
this
the game.
Oh, no.
What?
If Livingston carries on like this, we'll be done before the rugby match starts.
in 10
England need
minutes.
47
Oh.
or 27. This one outside off stump and a cross-batted shot by Livingston. Ball goes through to the keeper for no run. Dot ball.
Oh, in other news, the Springboks are
Oh,
wearing this
Shane
very
Kagiso looks
cool
like
warm-up
really
jersey.
disappointed. Oh, yeah, sorry.
In other news, the Springboks are wearing this very cool warm-up jersey that's like a Xhosa-inspired Indebele type of print. So yeah, I thought they'd wear it for their game, but yeah, they just wanted to wear
Rabada
it.
wide and full outside off stump, no run. A very expansive drive there by Livingston. Nothing but fresh air, no run. Yeah, that's good. I think that's another area that can be used to showcase all the different styles and designs that we are capable of as a country.
It's just so
that's
baffling
cool.
that we can't get this kit for the Proteas, because that's probably the reason why we're still wearing the ghost of 2019.
Yeah,
I'd love to
Rabada
have
to
Heartbreak in
Livingston.
the new shirt.
Outside off stump, just played with a flat bat out to deep and wicket, outside the off stump to the boundary there for a single.
But didn't you say that?
144 for 3 after 16, and Rabada went for 19 runs in that over. He's bowled 3 overs for 45. England need 46 of 24 balls to win the match.
Didn't you say that you found the shirt somewhere and it's like 1,200 rand?
Yes, but
And
then
then,
you'd have to pay. You'd also then have to pay customs to get it into the country. So that's another 1,000 rand.
Import tax and
Yes.
ah,
Because that's what happened to me when I got my NFL jersey. I paid an arm and a leg to actually buy the jersey, and then coming back into the country, I had to pay another 1,000 rand.
I forgot to keep forgetting to ask you, which NFL team do you support? Don't
The
say New
Kansas
England
City
Patriots.
Chiefs.
Okay, that's fine.
But they're having the worst start to an NFL season. So we're probably not going to go to the Super Bowl this year, but that's fine.
Could be.
Dwayne Pretorius continues over the wicket to Livingston, who cuts this one into the ground and out to extra cover for a single.
At least they got to keep their name.
Start of the 17th.
Yes, I was worried
I
about
thought those guys were all being pressured
So,
to change their names. The
what
Washington
they said-
Redskins.
The Redskins changed, yeah.
Yes. Well, that's derogatory. So
Yeah.
the Atlanta Braves also, kept their name.
The name, yeah.
Even though they won the thing. So what they said with the Chiefs was you aren't allowed to wear the headgear.
Picture, yeah.
Pretorius around the wicket to the left-handed Malan.
In the
This
air!
one is
Gone.
outside edge, skied it out to third man on the boundary, caught by Kagiso Rabada, wicket for South Africa, 145 for 4, and that is just David Malan swinging for the fences and getting just outfoxed by Dwayne Pretorius there, wide outside off stump when chasing after it. A good catch by Kagiso Rabada running back, and Dwayne Pretorius has got his first wicket.
I like to call that the Wile E. Coyote cam because it's kicked down. Back, but during the break, they've gone to a break. But during the Atlanta Braves are the baseball
World Series champions. Yes, the baseball team.
Baseball team, yeah. They were owned. Yes, by bit of general knowledge. The Atlanta Braves were owned by Jimmy Crockett, who bought World Championship Wrestling back in the 80s. So yeah, so he then tried to challenge Vince McMahon and told him I'm in the wrestling business too, and then they got run off. But yeah, I'm trying to change the topic because we aren't, but we still need to win. So yeah,
Morgan.
I'm dealing with it.
EOI and Morgan in at 7.
Ewan, That's a
Ewan
very
Morgan.
Scottish name.
It's an Irish
Irish name, yeah.
name. Yeah,
Oh.
he's born in Northern Ireland, playing for England, and the right-handed Livingston is on strike to Pretorius. Plays this one outside off stump down to long on for a single, and the England captain will face Dwayne Pretorius, 146 for 4, effectively for 5, and this just gives you an idea about the absolutely mammoth task that South Africa faced today, with Morgan coming in at 7. Ewan Morgan coming in at 7.
7.
Wait,
Oh.
Just
isn't the
unbelievable.
Principality Stadium a dome? Why the hell is it raining?
They opened the roof because of COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, serious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dwayne Pretorius, full and too full outside off stump, swatted from outside off stump by Morgan, the left-hander, through to backward square leg for a 4. 150 up for England. They need 44 of 21 balls to
I
beat
think
South
it looked
Africa.
like Pretorius was either talking about chirping, or he was saying that the ball was slipping because of the dew.
Yeah, no,
Making the
and
hand gesture for chirping. Ooh, cover your mouth when you're going to swear, son.
And Pretorius in again
what?
to Morgan, and this one is the Vatican slice in between the legs of Morgan, out to the man at fine leg inside the ring for a single. It's 151 for 4. So England need 40 of 20 to win.
Oh.
That was a clever
39.
shot from Morgan.
Oh, sorry, they need 39 of 19 now.
Good, yeah.
One ball to go in the 17th.
And sliced to
Dwayne Pretorius, thick top edge there from Livingston. 2 bounces to the boundary, 1 or 2, 4 runs, backward point. Everybody inside the circle on that offside there, and it's 155 for 4 after 17. England need 35 off the last 3 overs.
It always, like when you see guys really going at it, and they're playing with freedom, and it looks like they don't have a worry in the world, and you look at how our guys go. Like today, it looked like the guys like just went for it, but they still had that look of there's so much pressure. These guys, like Livingston's just going at it like nothing. They've qualified, so there's no pressure at all.
But that's the thing about England. That's who they are. This is how they play. So they're comfortable with chases like this. They're happy playing in this style because this is who they are. South Africa have to G themselves up to play this way. And that's fundamentally an indicator of the style of cricket you've been playing in this tournament. And we knew we were going to come in left-handed because we can't score more than 170. Today we scored 190, which is awesome. But from an England perspective, in your watch here, England will beat us, but they'll do it even better. And that's where my issue is we've watched this England team for the past 4 years do this to us, and we don't at least want to try and say, how can we replicate that? Because that's some sort of a winning formula.
Yeah.
Nortje to Morgan, tight line on off stump, cut by Morgan down to third man for a single.
I wonder if anyone
156 for 4.
I wonder if anyone gave Nortje an indication of how deep Morgan was standing in his crease. Morgan was way back.
Even then, bowling at full puts it into Morgan's advantage. So you still have to keep it back of a length. There's nothing you can do about him batting deep because of the way this pitch is.
So Livingston facing Anrich Nortje in his... this is his final over, I think. Yes, it's his final over, second delivery of his final over. Livingston looking around at the field, trying to see where there are gaps, where he can play this delivery. He is on 27 or 15. Nortje wide and full outside off stump, just dab down into the ground to cover for a single. Good delivery there by Nortje. Yeah, now we need to win this game. we need to go
Yeah.
out with only the loss against Australia. If we can beat this England team, at least we can hold our heads high.
No, we can't. No.
Pause at the second stage anger.
Shame.
Pause at the second stage of grief, anger. I've come to terms with it.
Nortje into Morgan, sorry, and he just swats this one with disdain through the extra cover region. Man diving there inside the circle, goes to the boundary for 4. And now the score moves to 161 for 4 for England. They need 29 or 15. And that was just a good shot by Owen Morgan, just evading the man standing at extra cover, running to his left to try and catch that ball, but just in between extra cover and mid-off. Beautiful shot. Morgan facing Nortje again, cut shot off middle stump straight to point, and they try and get a quick single. Backing up was Livingston, but he's sent back, and it's a decent throw, fumble by the bowler Nortje there at the non-striker's end, and safely back is Livingston for a dot ball.
29 or 14 needed.
So on our way back, the Proteas are going to meet the Netherlands in a couple of ODIs, which is supposed to set them up for India. I don't think India test series at the end of the year. That's going to be a
Nortje into Morgan and cuts this one on his off stump and beats the man at third man for a 4. Shamsi dives in vain. Morgan just playing with the fielders here, picking the gaps like an expert. Like
and on Morgan's
absolute pro he is.
Remember what I said in that thing with Lee? That it's going to be the guys that are off form that are going to take it away from us.
No, that was just expertly cut backward of point through to the third man boundary by Morgan. Good shot.
So 25 needed of 13. Super Sports going into a double box because the Springboks have started their match in Wellington. Not Wellington, in Wales at the Principality Stadium. We've got Dave standing on standby on another on our other YouTube stream. We're getting ready to go once this game ends, and then we'll go live on that with Otto as well if he still is keen to take the South African team to victory today.
I'm here. At least one South African team should win something. The Proteas can still win. The Boks can definitely beat Wales. They're looking good as they move up to the halfway line there, the Springboks, and they're in possession after the kickoff. So good stuff there.
So we've got
12 balls to go.
Balled out. So Rabada's got one more ball, one more over. He's gone for 15 and over. Pretorius has gone for 9.5, and he's got 2 overs left. But obviously he's going to bowl the penultimate over of this innings.
Okay, so Dwayne Pretorius setting his field and at the top of his mark, getting ready. England need 25 of 12. That's the same amount of runs that we needed against Sri Lanka, and David Miller did that, made that look quite easy. Him and Kagiso scoring those winning runs off the final over. I think we needed 13 of that final over. 25 of 12. Pretorius to Livingston. 15. He smacks this one high into the air. It's somebody down inside the boundary, and David Miller takes the catch.
Yes!
Livingston is out. Caught by David Miller on the long off boundary. What a wicket for South Africa. This is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Proteas. They know, they probably do know that they are going home. Slower ball out the back of the hand. And Livingston just gets the top edge onto this one. It was almost enough on it to actually clear the ropes, but David Miller just moving to his left a few steps and taking a catch there. That's where you want your best fielders at this stage of the game.
Can I make a Livingston discovering something joke?
Yeah, he's Livingston gone for 28 off not many. So good innings
Livingston was
by
trying
him.
to discover the boundary, but all he discovered was David Miller.
Yes. David Miller was already settled in there
Love
at
that.
the long off boundary.
Love that.
Every single time. and David Miller was there already. So I don't know how you can discover something that was already there.
Exactly. Yeah. How do you discover something when people are already living there? Yeah. So we have Chris Wokes. Morgan is on strike. This time the English batters did cross. There was enough time for them to do that. Two of the other catches we saw went so quickly to the fielder. Dwayne Pretorius round the wicket to Morgan, wide outside off stump, inside edge onto his pads, through to the keeper, no run. 165 for 5. England still need 25, but they've only got 10 balls to do it.
Oh, 25, but KG. It's going to come down to him. Can he hold his nerve?
That final over will be Kagiso then, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And he's been going at an economy of 15.
Yeah, Pretorius short and wide outside off stump, pulled across the line down to Miller at long on for a single by Owen Morgan. And Chris Wokes will be on strike for the next delivery. Dwayne Pretorius, 2.3 overs, 2 for 20. Wicket, dot, and a 1 in this over so far.
He's
he stepped over the line.
Oh,
He's bowled a no ball. His heel is right on the line, and so that will be a free hit to the new batsman Chris Wokes. But I mean, Dwayne Pretorius is just going to hide it full and wide outside off stump.
Just as I was about to praise him. Just as I was about to praise him and say, that first game, high done by not enough runs on the board. But he's shown that at the end of the day, at the death, he's become a great death bowler. And then he goes into that.
He goes into Chris Wokes, who swats this one wide outside off stump and crashes into the stands, into the roof of the stands. But luckily for the umpires, it bounces back into the field of play. That's a big 6 by Chris Wokes. This is why this English team will take some beating by whoever comes up against them. They bat all the way down to 10 or 11 or 12 even. And Pretorius into Wokes once again. And this one is just staying low outside off stump, a single down to fine leg inside the circle. So that's 174 for 5 for England. 2 balls to go in the 19th over. They need 17 of 9, 16 of 8.
There's another brain dead team happening.
16 of 8.
Brain dead moment happening in Wales. The Springboks contested a line out with Kwagga Smith.
Dwayne Pretorius outside the off stump to Morgan, and this one he just plays over that ball that kept low. Across the line, 16 needed of 7 for England to win. 174 for 5. 1 ball to go in the 19th.
Oof. I'm on I'm on the edge of my seat.
Pretorius into Morgan, steps down the wicket, gets a thick inside edge out to
the
wicket boundary. And they come back for 2. Morgan is
14.
back safe into his crease. And now it will be 16 needed of 7. No, 14 needed of 6. 14 off the last over for England to win. 176 for 5 after 19 overs. Kagiso Rabada has
the trick here
14 runs to defend.
The trick here for KG is he needs to make sure that he does not concede a boundary early.
Yeah.
Because if he does, it falls back onto England. Right now, it's
Yeah.
still in South Africa's half to defend, but he needs to make sure that he does not concede a boundary early. Forget about what's happened before, KG. It's now about this
Yes.
over.
Yes. We need Kagiso Rabada playing for the Mumbai Indians.
Yes. It
That's what we
amazes
need.
me how these guys, how everyone just performs for the IPL team, but the moment it comes for, it's the money. It's the money.
Is CSA paying them multi-millions?
Nope.
So
They're paying Graham Smith multi-million. That's another story.
Rabada
Oh,
over the wicket to the right-handed.
goal!
Caught on the boundary. And that is Chris Wokes gone. Caught on the boundary by Andre Cloutier off the bowling of Rabada. And that is job done by Kagiso Rabada off the first ball.
Dot ball
14 to
though.
get for
Dot
England.
ball.
14 to get by England or 5.
Whew.
And Chris Wokes has to go. He's hanging around there for some reason. No, he's walking off now. Why is he
No, he's
thinking
not.
that
Yeah,
he's
he
not
thought
out?
that maybe Anas touched the boundary rope.
No.
Yeah, so-
Nortje was well inside there.
They check the front foot.
Update from the rugby. It is 3-0 to Wales.
Oh.
Lovely chip shot from Dan Bigger.
Was that a penalty or a drop goal?
Penalty.
Okay.
But South Africa have a penalty as well. So
There we go.
hopefully, but it's 100 Pollard. I don't trust him.
No, he hasn't been that consistent lately. Usually when he misses the first one, he misses like 3 or 4 more. So we'll see.
Yeah, confident. If he gets that first one
But
over,
it's straight down the middle. So hopefully
Yeah.
it works for him.
Yeah, well,
That won't
those
stop
can be
him
the
from
worst
missing.
if you actually miss them.
To be
So,
fair,
Your foot is sort of oval. The ball is sort of oval. It can
Yeah.
go anywhere. Chris Wokes goes for 7, 176 for 6. England need 14 runs or 5 balls.
to be fair, I would actually have Pollard at inside center and then Yantis at fly off. That seemed to work amazing against the All Blacks.
I'm not dropping Damien or breaking up that center pairing
Whoa.
for England.
You don't rate it, do you?
No,
Yeah,
I think our center pairing is the best in the world. Okay, next batsman
Yeah.
in. Chris
Yeah,
Jordan.
Lender's defense has been amazing. Okay, so Chris Jordan in. 14 runs or 5 balls. Chris Jordan in at 9 for England with Jason.
Oh,
Warner
you can't bowl
firing left.
there.
This one is on leg stump by
Straight to him!
at the backward square leg off the bowling of Kagiso Rabada. 2 wickets in 2 balls.
He's on a
That's Owen
hat-trick.
Morgan out. Kagiso on a hat-trick. We have the IPL version of Rabada in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Morgan tried to fetch this one outside off stump on a good length and just flicked it straight to the man at the fine leg there, coming in from the boundary. Good stuff here. Rabada's got a smile back on his face. Owen Morgan goes for 17.
And he's on a hat trick.
Before, yes, we're picking it up. We've gone against Guerrilla SA tradition. We picked it up before.
176 for 7 is no
Oh.
scores. 14 runs needed.
Or 4 ball. I'm not going to be comfortable. Until they need 14 of 2.
Look, he hasn't conceded a boundary.
14 runs or 4 balls.
That's considered a run. Oh,
Yeah.
in he comes.
14
And outside
down.
off. God, he's got a hat trick!
chances to South Africa.
He's on a border!
Into Chris Jordan. Swats this one straight.
God, he's on a border!
Right off.
Ah!
And Kagiso Rabada's got the hat trick in the T20 World
Oh!
Cup. You
Ah!
guilty.
Oh! We
There
darted
was
him.
Slower ball off cutter by Kagiso Rabada.
Oh! Oh!
And
We darted
And,
him.
Chris Jordan plays the flat-batted swat shot straight to mid-off, where it's caught by David Miller and Vrachta.
You know what? Frachta, yes.
But it's a
Kagiso Rabada. Oh,
prizes here for the Proteas.
Okay, Otto,
And
we're
now
losing you a little bit.
It's advantage South Africa. 3 balls to go. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. We got you now. You're back.
yeah. This one swatted down to long off by the new batsman, Rashid Ali. They're just showing replays of Kagiso
Okay,
Rabada's hat trick.
This one is
And it's
just
Oh, one ball left. I'm now happy.
out to mid-on.
They need 12 of 1, the reverse of 22 of 1. And this one is worked down to. Oh, now they need 12 of 1. Sorry, I was a bit ahead. That's it. We've beaten England. We can hold our heads up high. If England win the World Cup.
No, you can't.
Yes, we can. Let me have this. I've said, I've dealt with the stages of grief. I've got to accept it. We've won this game. Oh, and that's smoked. The last ball of the innings hit down to log on 4-1. South Africa have won. England have scored 178 for 179 for 8. South Africa have won, but still go home.
With their chests pumped up, even though they're not in the World Cup, after winning 4 games. 4 games, and you get knocked out of the World Cup.
Remember what I said. Remember what I said. France, Bafana versus France.
Yeah, no, South Africans love moral victories. Okay, thank you very much to everybody who joined us on the stream and listened to everyone. Great victory for South Africa. We managed to win by 10 runs, but it is, as everyone says, bittersweet. But this World Cup's going to not go down to this game, but it's going to go down to a lot of decisions that were made earlier in the tournament. And now, it's just now time for us at the One World Sports Radio to close this broadcast. And if you're interested in rugby, we'll just hang around our YouTube channel. We're going to go live with our rugby broadcast. It currently is 15 minutes in, Wales 6, South Africa 3. But thank you very much for joining. Thanks, Otto. Thanks, Anise. We'll see you on the other side. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.